Today on
Doomed!
Merry Christmas. Oh no. Was I just canceled? Should I have said Happy Holidays? Ladies and gentlemen, on tonight's episode of Doomed with Matt Binder, we will be taking a look at the long, I'm actually surprised how long it is, the long history of the war on Christmas. We talk about forever wars. I think the war on Christmas is the one that will last for all eternity. And we'll get right down to the who, what, when, where, and why. Well, right now, because joining me to break this all down, to lead the charge in the war on Christmas, let me pull us up on the screen, is my guest at this for this episode, Parker Molloy, writer of the Present Age newsletter. Parker,
how's it going?
It's going great. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, totally.
And I want to comment for people who can't tell. In fact, I think because I'm doing the side screen here, people can't see the full blown Christmas festive background you got going on. Let me pull you up just by yourself for a second. Look at that. Look at that Christmas tree. Oh, the other side. There we go. Look at that Christmas tree. I mean, how can anyone claim that the left is perpetrating a war on Christmas after seeing this background you have? I mean, it just seems shocking to me.
I know. It just wait, I'm hearing myself echoing. I'm trying to figure out why.
Well,
sorry.
Everything sounds great on this
Sounds
end.
great on your end.
So I know
okay.
that's going to be troublesome for you, but I just want to let you know that nothing is wrong for what people are hearing.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I will just... Actually, now it sounds fine. Great.
There we go.
Yeah,
So wasn't
see?
your... You know what I think? I think it's the various different elves and reindeer and snowmen trying to infiltrate the stream as...
It's Big Christmas.
Yes. You know, the war on Christmas continues. You know, it's a year of, we heard a lot about the forever wars this year with Joe Biden ending the war in Afghanistan, which means it no longer is a forever war, although, drone strikes. Although, oddly enough, as I say that, I did just do a piece, a segment a week or two ago about how basically Joe Biden has, at least for now, seemingly ended even the drone for the most part. Don't want to say completely, but has pulled back tremendously on even the drone usage that we have in countries like Iraq and Somalia and Libya. So Yemen.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you got little victories.
Little victories.
I mean that's mostly because he's got to move those resources over to the much larger war on Christmas.
Right.
Which, it's time for Joe Biden to end the forever war on Christmas.
Right. I wish he could do that, but I think even that is beyond his power. This is just a war that will rage on, I think, for as long as there'll be a right-wing media, because it seems, I actually have to say, as we jump into this very special holiday edition of Doomed, I was shocked when I was reading the, I believe it was the second piece in your 4-piece series. The first piece is just really an announcement that you were going to do this series on the war on Christmas. But the second piece, you really get into it, and I did not know how far back this whole war on Christmas went. Now I think people might be thinking, yeah, maybe it started with Fox News during the Obama years. No. Oh, maybe it started with George Bush and his whole push for, Judeo-Christian values. No. Maybe it was the 90s and, Rush Limbaugh pushing it on his radio program. No. The Reagan years of the 80s. No. This goes back decades before that, at least.
We're talking about the 1920s.
I couldn't. I mean,
it's amazing. So basically, let me give you a little history here.
Break it down.
So you know how Henry Ford was like a terrible person and horrible anti-Semite, like just awful. So there was that whole thing. So he liked to do a little writing, and had a newspaper of his own, basically, that just printed whatever he wanted to say, which was the Dearborn Independent. And it was just horrific. It was horrible. And at one point, they took all of the like op-eds that he and others helped him write and put them into a 4-volume series called, let me make sure I've got this correct. Okay, it's called The International Jew, the World's Foremost Problem. Yeah, that's not great.
Very subtle there.
Yeah,
you might miss it if you don't really pay attention.
Yeah, is the anti-Semitism is you got to look for it, but it's there. But yeah, so in volume 2, chapter 36 of this, which was titled "Jewish Rights to Put Studies Out of Schools," it makes mention of Christmas with a familiar argument. Now, tell me if this sounds familiar. And it has become pretty general. Last Christmas, most people had a hard time finding Christmas cards that indicated in any way that Christmas commemorated someone's birth. Easter, they will have the same difficulty in finding Easter cards that contain any suggestion that Easter commemorates a certain event. There will be rabbits and eggs and spring flowers, but a hint of the resurrection will be hard to find. Now, all of this begins with the designers of the cards, and even in this business, one comes under the same policy of declaring anti-Semitic everything that is Christian. If a rabbi says the New Testament is the most anti-Semitic book ever written, what must be the judgment on an Easter card that is truly an Easter card? So basically, it's that same, people are trying to take the Christ out of Christmas kind of thing. And there's something that is, I mean, it's very dark, but it's kind of, in a sense, funny that the same arguments are being made now.
Right. It really seems like Ford just has a problem with Hallmark or something. Like, I mean, it's all about the cards, the Christmas cards, the Easter card. First of all, I don't know what they were doing back in the 1920s, but I don't think Easter cards are much of a thing anymore. Maybe it was the thing then. I don't know.
Well, and then, so let's fast forward 90 years. So here's something that was published by the National Review. Some have said, you can't find cards that say Merry Christmas. It gets harder and harder. I know, kind of like trying to find products not made in China. Ha ha ha. I gave up on the China front long ago. Shameful, I know. But have you ever tried to buy an umbrella not made in China? Blah, blah. So he goes on. But he goes, I gave up on the Merry Christmas front too, where cards are concerned. I just got a pretty card that says Season's Greetings or What's Happening on the Holidays or whatever. Life's too short to hunt down Merry Christmas. It's the same exact argument, 90 years apart.
Right.
And I find that totally remarkable. And also kind of makes me think that maybe how a lot of this is based on people remembering their childhood, remembering, the Christmases of my youth, where everyone said Merry Christmas and the streets were lined with decorations and all of that stuff. So I think that most people are just incorrectly remembering their youth. That's really what a lot of it, I think, comes down to, because there's this, people romanticize the past, and that's exactly what this is. It's saying, oh, look at how things are changing, and it scares me.
I mean,
even
I gotta
though
say,
things may not have changed.
I don't know how it is by you, but Christmas decorations and Christmas lights and Christmas houses and Christmas in stores and Christmas in public spaces, it's bigger than ever. I feel like every year it gets bigger and bigger. And listen, it
starts earlier and earlier.
Right. And listen, I'm a sucker for Christmas. I got no problem with it. I love the holidays personally, but the idea that it's going away and or it's being attacked now. If their problem is that it's growing, but the reason for the season, Jesus, is, I mean, I don't see that either. I mean, whether or not you believe in God, or whether or not you believe that Jesus is the Son of God, or whether you believe whatever you believe, I mean, even the historical Jesus Christ, as far as he existed, the nativity scene is everywhere. The angel stuff, the baby in a manger, that's all Jesus related. It's all
Yeah,
part of the Christmas holidays. I mean,
it's not going away.
yeah. It's
I think what it is people think about Christmas movies, which are even extra Christmassy. They are just over the top. I mean, the 90s weren't like Home Alone. That they weren't as over the top Christmassy as that or any other Christmas movie. It's but yeah, I mean, there's no shortage of Christmas stuff anywhere. And I've been really interested in this for a long time, and really just kind of generally interested in these sorts of moral panics or culture war kind of things that are framed as, here is this thing that is changing, and then looking back and finding um, near identical articles from 100 years ago. I did that with something I wrote at Media Matters a while back about the New York Times obsession with speech on college campuses, which 100 years ago, literally more than 100 years ago, they had articles that were making the same arguments that Barry Weiss and Brett Stevens were making in the Times in 2018 or whatever. That these things are not new, and the same thing happened with the pandemic. I went and decided to start combing through old newspapers, and I found in 1918, with the big flu pandemic, there were articles about people who didn't want to wear masks. There were there were articles about people being angry about Thanksgiving dinner, being advised not to have big Thanksgivings. All of these things are the same, and so much changes, but so much remains exactly the same. And we tend to not ever learn from these mistakes of the past, or just events of the past generally. And that's what's so frustrating about this, because the war on Christmas, which the modern version of it started with Bill O'Reilly. That was 2004, because after Henry Ford, the John Birch Society picked it up in the late 50s, because they said that the communists and the United Nations were trying to take Christ out of Christmas. The white nationalist blog VDare used the term war on Christmas in 2000, which it may have been the first mention of the phrase in the modern sort of context, because there are like stories about the war on Christmas referring to actual wars that just happened on Christmas,
right.
but regarding this. And so it's just happened across all of time. And
good place to good place to really kick off that turn of phrase, right? VDare.
Yeah.
What a great way to.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always get my catchphrases from VDare.
Right. Yeah. And just continue beating that dead horse for the next at least 21 years so far. I mean,
yeah.
Jeez.
Well, and the funny thing is that, so Bill O'Reilly started doing this on his show in 2004, but in 2001 he wrote an op-ed that was just a list of things that made him angry about Christmas. He scoured the country. He has like all these little stories, like in Seattle, a King County executive named Ron Sims sent out a memo to county employees asking them not to say Merry Christmas and to be religion neutral. Like, okay. The Wisconsin Municipal Clerks Association ordered religious ornaments banned from the holiday tree. And so it's all these like one-off examples in little towns. And the thing that sucks about all of this is the internet has made finding these one-off examples so much easier. And it's something that Fox uses on any number of issues. And you have I was thinking about this earlier today. Remember there was a story where someone had an art installation. It was an art project about fragility and trying to like overcome stress, and it was called the Cry Closet, and basically it was just a booth that someone set up on a college campus and put it somewhere, and it was an art project. But Tucker Carlson takes that and he goes, schools are starting to put these things in,
Right.
and it's just like, come on, and people ran with it. And that's kind of how these stories go. You find the outrage of the day and then you yell about it. These are not national news stories. In 2001, it wasn't it shouldn't have been a national news story. Whatever the King County executive sent on his memos, like that's not something that needs to be in every newspaper around the country. Just like if some small town in Colorado decides to have a holiday tree or something, that is not newsworthy. But the internet and social media especially has made it so easy to find examples to fuel this political culture war. And that's exactly what it is, because you're never going to have a situation where literally every person is going around saying Merry Christmas, because that's weird.
Right.
I mean, especially when people expect it to be said earlier and earlier. Like here, I was thinking about it this way. So, there is this, like, if I wish you a Merry Christmas today, it's maybe not the worst thing. It's December 16th. It's kind of, it's 9 days away, a little over a week.
Hey, I gotta tell you, I've been feeling the holidays since like the day after Thanksgiving. So if you wish me Merry Christmas today, I'd be like, about time.
Yeah. Well, and it's that, but that's that sort of thing where if you wish someone a Merry Christmas on like November 29th, people will be like, what is wrong with you? Unless you're like you or me, where we are jolly.
Right. I mean, I feel like, here's the thing though, like I completely agree with you. And I think the thing is so weird because like the most mainstream examples, like you can't find what they're pushing. Like they pick up like small town with like 250 people want to call it the holiday tree. Yet you turn on your TV every year in the first week of December on NBC, aired all across the nation. It wouldn't surprise me if they were even showing it globally. The Rockefeller Center Christmas tree lighting ceremony. You go to Radio City Music Hall for the most famous Christmas show on earth, the Radio City Christmas Spectacular. Everything is Christmas. Like this whole Happy Holidays is taking over. Like, yeah, people say Happy Holidays because generally we call this whole time frame the holiday season, but no one is like changing, like no one is swapping, replacing holidays with Christmas. They're just arbitrarily swapping them depending on what the other person says, just so they can sort of match it. Like if someone says Merry Christmas to me, I'll say like, hey, Merry Christmas to you too. Someone says Happy Holidays to me, I say Happy Holidays to you too. It's that simple. It's nothing to go like nuts over.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean that it's sort of thinking about that. I was a couple years back, so I was writing holiday cards or Christmas cards or whatever we're going to call them. So I'm writing these and trying to address them to people, and I was like, okay, do I write Merry Christmas? Do I write Happy Holidays? What do I do on this? And it was kind of weird that I was overthinking it, because that's, if you're thinking about that sort of stuff more than a second, it's overthinking it. And I'm just like, this is so weird that I'm concerned about what to use here, because saying Merry Christmas has become oddly weaponized. Like, have you noticed this, that you have like people will aggressively say Merry Christmas? That's the weirdest thing to me. And where they'll be like, oh, I'm going to trigger the libs and say say Merry Christmas to them, huh? Or when they were all angry about Starbucks not having the word Christmas on their cup, even though the word Christmas was never on their cups. Where people would go in there and be like, "My name is Merry Christmas. Haha, I forced you to say it." It's like, why are you giving people who work at Starbucks a hard time? And no one cares if you put your name as Merry Christmas. But it's that sort of thing where it's this weird trolling. It's kind of similar to that weird saying they have now where they're like, "Let's go, Brandon," where they're like, "Haha, it's our way of saying F Joe Biden." It's like, yeah, that okay. I guess. But if I were to, let's say, if I was trying to cheer someone on named Brandon, I might avoid saying let's go, Brandon, because it's become this weird little phrase. Just same thing with like make America or America first or make America great again. These sorts of things become like brands essentially.
Right. Personally, if I was trying to cheer on an actual Brandon nowadays, I would cheer fuck Joe Biden.
Yeah, fuck Joe Biden.
Here's the funny thing. I'm so glad you brought up Starbucks. And here's the thing, like, I have a family member who is from Spain. They're a citizen of Spain, and they work here, and they travel every year to Spain to see their family. And they always tell me, and as far as they've known, and they're around my age, a little bit older, how every year, as long as he's grown up in Spain, and I know this is the case for many other countries around the world, their Christmas celebration, like their holiday season, lasts even longer than it does in America. They take it all the way to January 6th, which is the Three Kings Day celebration, which is when
we have a different January 6th celebration.
Right, yes. That one just started. That's a brand new holiday.
See, we're starting new traditions.
Right. But like apparently that's historically that's when the Three Kings finally arrive to present their gifts to baby Jesus. And I just want to mention right now that song where it's oh my God, what's that song called?
The Little Drummer Boy.
There's one of those songs where it's like
We Three Kings.
It's one of them. I can't remember now. Where the one of the lines is like, the baby is outside cold, bring him silver and gold. And I'm thinking to myself, is that really what's best for a shivering baby? Good job, Christmas song. Anyway, and here I'm thinking, like, if this was really about like religious celebration of the holidays, you think there would be some sort of movement in this country to actually extend this to the full-blown Christmas celebration that they celebrate in Italy and in Spain and other European countries, where they extended that extra week to the Three Kings Day. That sounds very religious to me, that it should be. But the reason we don't do that in this country is very obviously because corporations don't want to give people an extra week off. They're already giving us could you imagine if the usual like Christmas Eve to like New Year's Day time off that obviously not everyone has, but a lot of people do. It's like the at least school children have off, and then obviously probably a lot of office workers and such have off. Can you imagine if that got extended an extra week? Like, if this was about religion, you think Christians, hardcore Christians and Catholics, and whoever thinks the Christ is being taken out of Christmas, you think they'd all be out there saying, we want that extra week of observing this holy time period, and not be whining about, doesn't say Christmas on a coffee cup, or we don't got enough Christmas cards compared to the amount of holiday cards. Like, ridiculous. And trust me, listen, if you Christians out there want to jump on board this giving us all an extra week of the holidays, I will be right there with you fighting that fight. Yes. I will join that war.
I will be on the front lines of that war on Christmas. But yeah, I mean, that is, I think that sort of speaks to the hypocrisy of so much of this. I mean, remember last year when there was that when that tape of Melania Trump saying, like, who gives a fuck about Christmas stuff? And I mean, first off, if Jill Biden said that this year, it's all anyone would hear about for years to come around Christmas, they'd be like, Democrats said, who gives a fuck about Christmas? But Melania Trump says that, and I secretly kind of loved her really spooky Christmas decorations. It's my vibe.
It was like a Nightmare Before Christmas meets the White House. Yeah,
exactly. It was different. But so she says that, and none of the Trump supporters cared. It was in one ear, out the other. They were like, oh, well, and it was kind of shocking how quickly that was out of the news. I mean, it also happened. That also came out on the night that Trump tested positive for COVID. So understandably a little busy, but it didn't come back up. It's just something that kind of floated off because it was a non-controversy to them. And that's kind of the issue here. They understand that this is not a real controversy, that no one is attacking Christmas. Right. The White House Christmas tree is still the White House Christmas tree. There was a quote from Eric Trump a few years back where he said, the reason my dad ran for president was because they renamed the White House Christmas tree the White House holiday tree. And it's like, they didn't do that. No one did that. He should drop out. He should drop out running for president if that's why he ran, because you have nothing to fear. The Christmas tree is still the Christmas tree.
Right. Oh, by the way, that song that I was referencing, thanks to Robert Miller in the chat, it's "Do You Hear What I Hear?" It's great that was given to me, because I feel like that's sort of how the reaction on the right was to the Melania Trump "fuck Christmas" whole thing, where it's like, "Do you hear what I hear?" No, what did you
Absolutely
hear something?
Not.
I didn't hear nothing. Did you hear something? I didn't hear nothing. It's incredible how they just. Swept that under the rug. And let's actually, because you posted, and I think I might have seen this when it was originally posted, but I wanted to play it now. When you were over at Media Matters, you helped put together a great compilation video clip with the rest of the crew over there that basically looked at the Fox News push of the war on Christmas. And I will say this. Even though maybe they're continuing to spread it, and we'll get to the latest kerfuffle in front of the Fox News offices, but even though they've continued to spread it, I do feel like it's lost its luster from when Bill O'Reilly was at the network. It
comes and goes.
Yeah, I really feel like, though, that like he was their commander of the war on Christmas, and once he was gone, there was no more like front man there. Like they're still pushing it. But Bill O'Reilly really was leading the charge. But let's reminisce on some of the years of Fox News pushing this war on Christmas.
Well, the war on Christmas is not real. They tell you it all the time. It's totally fake. And if you believe in it, you're dumb. You watch Fox News or something.
Isn't it amazing, the attack, the assault? It's just unbridled and seemingly unprecedented against Christmas.
It has to do with, at the root of it, it has to do with two things: abortion and the gay rights agenda.
Today we're talking a lot about sexual harassment. Well, cases like this are examples of spiritual harassment. And look, this is a part of the larger, not just war on Christmas, but the war against Christianity.
Look, I'm tired of we're going to talk about this all the way through Christmas.
Can you name one person who's said that Obama's waging a war on Christmas?
I've heard many people on these airwaves talking about it. I've been on panels talking about. Is this really happening?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't said it. I don't remember anybody saying that Obama's waging a war on Christmas.
Whose war on Christmas?
Obama's.
I think we won the war on terror. I mean, the war on Christmas already.
Hostile toward Christmas and hostile toward Christians.
The war on Christmas heads to Sin City.
Because there wasn't anybody else fighting this war on Christmas. I'll take kudos for that.
I will agree with that. He really did. There's a little bit more, which we'll continue playing, but I really wanted to stop it there and say, I agree with that. Bill O'Reilly really did make this, part of his identity.
Oh, yeah. That and calling George Tiller the baby killer up until someone murdered George Tiller.
Right.
Which O'Reilly was like, how could you say I had anything to do with that?
Right.
He's like, I just went on TV all the time and called this man a murderer.
Right.
On Christmas. And John, you've got a book by that title.
Yeah, I did write a book about it, and I thought maybe we'd be done with it.
And the war on Christmas may be worse than ever.
There is an attack on
Christmas,
Sarah
which
Palin,
is
deep
kind
cut.
of the tip of the spear when it comes to an even greater battle brewing.
They mock the idea there is a war on Christmas, even as they wage it.
It's like the secret bombing of Cambodia. It was a secret from everybody except the people getting bombed. Same deal here.
A new front in the war on Christmas.
Long Island, New York is ground zero for this year's first battle in the war on Christmas.
But not just in America. The war on Christmas is a global struggle.
The PC police firing off their first shot in this year's war on Christmas.
We wish you a happy holiday. We wish you a happy holiday.
Jesus is the reason for the season.
And more victims in the war on Christmas.
Attacks on Christmas.
The war on Christmas doesn't exist. Obviously, you know that. You'd have to be a moron or some kind of Fox News viewer to think there's a war on Christmas.
To deny that there is a war on Christmas is to lie.
And it's a new battle in the war on Christmas. While your ugly sweater party just got canceled by cancel culture.
There's a problem. The cups don't say Christmas.
There's the cups.
They say, what? Merry Coffee.
Quick headlines for you. War on Christmas edition.
Waging a war on Christmas.
War on Christmas. There's a war on Christmas.
It's the war on Christmas.
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 It's a new chapter in the left's war on Christmas.
Assaults on the traditions of Christmas.
In North Korea to the war on Christmas.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka says this has jihad written all over it. He is live next.
And the war on Christmas.
If you watch The Factor, you know that we won the war on Christmas battle. And we'll be back in a moment.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's all over.
You declared victory.
I will
They've
say-
done this several times.
I will. It just gets reignited every year. I will say it was interesting to see some people in that compilation that haven't been on Fox News for quite a while because they got even too racist for Fox News. Michelle Malkin, for example. Interesting to see her face on I forgot that she was.
Or I mean, you have guys like Ed Henry and Eric Bolling who are no longer at Fox because they allegedly did bad things.
Right.
off the air.
Yes.
You
And
know,
what's her name? The one who sued Fox News was in on that too. The one who
Gretchen Carlson.
Gretchen Carlson. Yeah. Fighting that war on Christmas.
People really wanted to give her like a big redemption arc. Remember they made a movie about her life, which was like, what the?
I do. And I will say one glaring omission from that great compilation piece, though, was I did not see the infamous Megyn Kelly, Santa is white, kids.
By the way, Santa is, that's a classic. I need to find these. Last year, I was bored because, I mean, it was a pandemic, so I didn't go anywhere.
Right.
And I made every day. I made an on this day in the war on Christmas video. I need to start posting those again because there are so many good ones that really just kind of sneak past all of us. And yeah, the Santa is white one. People freaking out about a mall having a black Santa. That was another thing that kept happening, which is
funny because wouldn't Santa be one of their? I mean, technically, wouldn't Santa be one of their enemies who's distracting from the reason for the season, Jesus Christ?
I would think so,
right?
But the problem with that argument, the problem with framing it in this way, where it's like, hey, shouldn't we be putting more attention on Jesus, or shouldn't we be putting more attention on the religious aspect of this, is by doing that, you're pointing to what is actually driving any sort of war on Christmas, if one exists. It's consumerism. It's mass consumerism. If you have a mom and pop store down the street, they probably just say whatever the hell they want. But if you get Walmart coming in and setting up a shop, and they just want to have policies that people can follow that are supposed to be fine for 300 million people. And you're going to get weird, inclusive, but odd language a lot of the time because you try to appease everyone, and instead of just being like, hey, okay, ma and pa down the street are put a Merry Christmas sign in their window, that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, if they do that though, they have to kind of criticize capitalism, and they really do not want to do that.
Right. One of the clips I saw there, and I might have missed this one when it happened, and I know you covered it in one of your War on Christmas pieces, was did we try to cancel Rudolph? Did I miss that memo? Did I miss that big board meeting with the rest of Antifa and the Dem socialists and everybody else on the left?
So this was fun. This was funny because it was 2018 or 2019. Yeah, it was 2018 when Huffington Post made a little video that was just people watching Rudolph and live tweeting it and making jokes like, "Oh man, I'd hate to work in that place. Look at how the employees are treated. It's a sweatshop," like that sort of thing. And making jokes or being like, Rudolph should have told Dasher, "Fuck you," fuck off because whatever. And now Santa needs help. So people were making like jokes about that. And so Huffington Post put together this compilation that was those tweets. And they put it in an article that was in their comedy vertical that said like, we need to talk about how problematic Rudolph is. And so they put this out, just Huffington Post, and people go nuts over it. They start freaking out. They start just saying like, how dare the left attack Christmas? And you had like, there was someone who did one of the voices in Rudolph and like issued a statement to Fox being like, Rudolph isn't offensive. It teaches you not to bully kids, because people pointed out that Rudolph was bullied. And yeah, I mean, he was. That's kind of the thing, to show that what the other reindeer were doing to him was wrong. That's the whole point. But yeah, they insist. And this is kind of that thing that always happens. It's one thing when it happens on Twitter, but then it's another when you have like Fox repeating it over and over, where they're like, oh, no, you're just trying to walk it back. You're just trying to pretend that you were joking because people called you on it, like that sort of thing. But I mean, really, it was just a joke the whole time. It was filed under comedy. They may not have gotten the joke. It may have flown over their heads, but that doesn't make it any less of a joke. No one was actually offended by Rudolph. It's like there are some kind of funny dated things there. Like when Rudolph gets lost, you have like his dad's like, I must go find him. And his mom was like, I'll come with. And he goes, no, this is man's work. which is just kind of like, it's funny because it's charmingly dated. Right. It's that like weird 50s misogyny kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just a total, it's chaos, and they will find anything and they will stick to it, and they will just turn it into an issue. I mean, the one segment on there was Tucker Carlson being angry about gingerbread people, and that happened in one coffee shop in Scotland. Like that's what he was mad about in that segment. Like, in what way is a coffee shop creating gingerbread people instead of gingerbread men? Like, that's not newsworthy. That's not newsworthy in the town that it happened. Right. I mean, it's really frustrating that they can take these weird single stories that are usually just like either someone trying to be inclusive or someone just trying to get publicity and trying to draw attention to them. Like as a joke, these are gingerbread people. They're non-gendered. This is a statement about equality or something, like those sorts of things. But then you have people freaking out and going like, how dare they? Our traditions.
I feel like I want to make one up for them. Like I want to like make a fake outrage for them to fool them. Like, I'm trying to think. Right. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this takes off, everybody. Let's see. Let Fox News know. Frosty the Snowman. You see that top hat? The pipe. I'm getting real like PUA, pickup artist, men's rights activist vibes from Frosty. You could just picture him tipping that hat and going, "Milady." I mean, that dude, he's gone. Cancel him. Cancel Frosty.
He doesn't wear clothes. He smokes a pipe. These are just bad lessons for kids.
Gotta cancel Frosty. Just
cancel Frosty. Belt Frosty.
Bad dude all around. Yes. And he's hanging out. Like, what's a grown naked man doing hanging out at the schoolyard? Unbelievable.
Right? Just standing outside their window.
And he's a thief too, stealing that magician's hat.
Yeah, I mean, so
unbelievable.
So you know how in that video you had O'Reilly taking credit for winning the war on Christmas. There's another video that I sent. I told you about. Can we watch that? That was
yes. Let's do this because you mentioned earlier. Let's talk about Trump a little more. Yeah, you mentioned earlier that Trump sort of ran on this weird. We're gonna be saying Merry Christmas again, which I don't know. Maybe I missed that board. Maybe I was I don't know. Maybe I got hit in the head and was out unconscious for a number of years. But I don't think people ever stopped saying Merry Christmas, as far as I can remember.
Nope. I mean, the Washington Post had in 2017 they ran a story. It was just so embarrassing. It was in a pro-Trump town. They never stopped saying Merry Christmas. Like, what? That's an actual article. It was in the news section of the paper. It wasn't even an opinion piece. It was a reported piece where it had people saying like, "We've always said Merry Christmas. It offends me to see the stores where they just do Happy Holidays or Season's Greetings. It should be Merry Christmas. Put Christ back into it. It's what it's supposed to be."
I gotta say that gingerbread people story from Scotland, that Scotland cafe, that seems like a bigger news story than a town that is still saying something they never stopped saying that nobody else stopped saying. I mean,
it's so weird. Well, and the funny thing is that this piece,
which happened in that Scotland cafe.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about this piece is that it takes all of their claims at face value and just prints them. But it kind of also shows you a little bit of what's actually beneath the surface level of their being offended. So this is a quote from someone else who was in that story. "We can't say Christmas because there's too many Muslims and Buddhists and Hindus, and it offends them," said Naomi DePriest, property manager, blah, 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 blah. "I think they should keep Christ in Christmas, which is why they said originally, and to heck with anybody that don't like it. Anybody that's Muslim or Hindu or Buddhist, let them do whatever they want to do. But don't criticize those that want to keep Christ in Christmas. No one is. What are you doing?
Yeah,
why are you so concerned with how many Muslims there are?"
Right, but that's also contrary. Like whoever said that clearly sort of, I have to assume, realized what they were saying halfway through and then tried to pretend that let them do what they want. But that's literally the thing. They're the one. If in your world they're the ones saying Happy Holidays, that's it.
That's them doing what they want.
Yeah, like that's it. No one's forced. Like there's no like rule, like decree saying that like you will be jailed if you say Merry Christmas or anything like that. No one cares. But clearly some people still do, because before we went live, ladies and gentlemen, Parker told me that Mike Huckabee, that there's a name you really don't hear much nowadays. Mike Huckabee had an interview with Donald Trump. And of course, as Mike Huckabee and Donald Trump would do, getting together in mid-December, they apparently, and I haven't watched this yet, so I'm going to be just as shocked as this as all of you. I'm assuming Parker knows what I'm about to get into here.
Oh, yes.
I'm assuming they're going to talk about Christmas. Let's do this. Oh boy.
America had gone through a long period where people quit saying
Whoa, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, he has a beard now.
Yeah, I have to pause him right away. What is going on with Mike Huckabee?
Yeah, he's like 90 years old or something now.
Yeah, geez. I feel like he's getting ready to be a mall Santa next year. Like he's not there yet, obviously. The beard ain't long enough, but he's clearly going for the early look. This is Tim Allen and the Santa Claus in the very beginning when he first starts taking over the reins. Let's continue.
Christmas. It's all Happy Holidays.
Oh boy.
You deliberately changed that. And openly said, Merry Christmas, we're going to say it again.
In fact, it was part of my campaign, Mike. You know, the country had started with this woke, I guess, a little bit before that.
Yeah.
and it was embarrassing for stores to say Merry Christmas. You'd see these big chains, they want your money, but they don't want to say Merry Christmas. And they'd use reds and they'd use whites and snow, but they wouldn't say Christmas. And when I started campaigning, this was in 2015.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to let them declare that snowfall is a religious, the weather is that a Christian thing. I'm sorry.
Wait, really quick, before you hit play again, look at the scroll along the bottom right now. Despite woke cancel culture, America loves Christmas.
Oh my God. Let's rewind it just a little bit so we don't miss anything. Donald Trump to Newsmax. Despite woke cancel culture, America loves Christmas. Amazing.
Just
amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Also, the music choice here.
I gotta say, the music volume, whoever the audio producer of this failed, music volume way louder than they are. I could barely make them out, but the music is as crystal clear as possible.
2015, when I started campaigning, I said, you're going to say Merry Christmas again, and now people are saying it. Of course, they're not saying a lot of other things like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson. You know, those names are being obliterated.
I forgot about
Who's going around saying George Washington?
Yeah, I forgot about those days, Parker, where you would just, you'd be leaving, I don't know, your local, Christmas fair or whatever, local Christmas gathering, the town gathering outside, and as you're leaving, everyone goes, Merry Christmas, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson. It's like, I remember those days. We just don't have it anymore.
No.
Constitution. Declaration of Independence. Just they're rattling shit like that off. Alexander Hamilton, Ben Franklin, but no more.
Because of craziness. But they are saying Merry Christmas again. We got that. That was a big part of what I was doing. And I would say it all the time during that period, that we want them to say Merry Christmas. Don't shop at stores that don't say Merry Christmas. And I'll tell you, we brought it back very quickly.
You really did. And I think a lot of people appreciated that it was a part of the American culture. It was a part of who we are. It wasn't to exclude anybody. It was just simply a celebration of what America does at Christmas.
And America and the world, but America loves Christmas.
Yeah.
And whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, whether you're Jewish, everyone loves Christmas. And they'd say Merry Christmas until these crazy people came along and they wanted to stop it along with everything else. So I was very proud of that, actually. I remember I used to say, we will say Merry Christmas again in front of these massive crowds of people.
Oh my God, what happened to the music? All of a sudden it went into like weird, like sort of like native.
Yeah, it was like the Titanic theme.
Or that, yeah. Oh, there's another clip. Let's. This is much better than I even imagined. I guess I'm a little bit rusty, being that we haven't heard much from Trump nowadays, as much as we used to, at least. That I forgot.
The man's brain is just total pudding at the moment.
Right. Let's go to the second clip. I'm excited. It's got to get.
President.
It's got to be even better. I'm assuming.
President, I want to say, because of you, a lot of Americans have had some great Christmases. You helped rebuild the economy, pride in our country, made us a strong military once again, stood up to China. When I think of all the ways that you led this country, energy independent for the first time in 75 years.
No longer.
I think a lot of people are right now saying, I wish Donald Trump was president right now, this year for Christmas. What a great Christmas present that would be.
Well, it's been very sad when you look. We were energy independent, and now they're going to OPEC again, and they're begging for oil. And the gasoline price was $1.87, and now it's in California $7.50 a gallon.
Whoa. First of all, I don't remember $1.87 gas anywhere in like for the past 20 years. And as for $7.80, I don't know where I've seen like a high gas price in New York City that I've seen, besides like the one or two gas stations in Manhattan that are known for like charging $5 or something like that. It's like, $3.50, $3.60, $3.70. Maybe if you're getting like the premium, $4. That's high in New York City. I don't know. Maybe California's, I don't know. I'm not a Californian, but seems like that's off.
Probably a little bit.
Yeah.
I said that during the debates. I said, wait till you watch what they do to energy. Wait till you watch what they do with inflation. Inflation is a killer. and so many other things. It's very sad to see what's happening, but our country will survive it, and I really believe we're going to be greater than ever before. But we're going through a very bad time, and they're all self-inflicted errors. These are errors that should never have happened. Energy, we had so much. So with energy as an example, we weren't doing well at all. We're doing poorly. I got in. We were bigger than Russia, bigger than Saudi Arabia, and within 1 year we would have been bigger than both put together. And now we're begging them for energy. We have more than they do. If you look at Anwar in Alaska, Ronald Reagan tried to get it approved, couldn't do it. No president could do it. I got it done.
All right, I'll say first clip was better because he stuck with the Christmas stuff. But I will say, it is really bizarre. It is really bizarre to see how much. And you know what? This isn't just conservatives and Republicans. It's older people in general harping on inflation and them spending like an extra buck or 50 cents or 25 cents on a product. And it's like, it's really interesting to see that that's what bothers all of you guys when like millennials and Gen Z have been saying, how the fuck are we supposed to afford education and homes that have gone up like 1,000+%? Like, yeah. Like, it is really like it really bothers. It honestly really like it bothers me. So it's like I really am not that bothered that, oh no, I have to pay an extra 25 cents, 50 cents for a slice of pizza because, oh, I got to pay an extra $900,000 if I want to buy a home in an outer borough of New York City where I've lived my whole life than what people were paying just like 20 or 30 years ago. So yeah, I'll pay the extra 25 cents for the pizza if you could get me back to the 90s or the 80s or even the early 2000s of home prices in like Queens, New York, please.
Yeah, and you know, if they actually cared about this stuff, you know, if they actually cared about prices going up, this and that, yeah, they would do things about the big ticket items that are super expensive,
like necessities, like things that you need. Like you don't have to buy like the fancy meats that are going up because there's some sort of supply chain issue. Like there's enough regular basic food out there. Like last time I checked, there wasn't a shortage of like beans or like bread or anything general like that. But they don't give a shit about the price of education. They don't give a shit about the price of childcare. They don't give a shit about the costs of healthcare, of shelter, home, whether it be rent or buying. Like it's incredible. But you know, gas goes up 5 cents a gallon. Holy shit.
And the thing is, like, so it goes up, and it's not like any of Biden's policies like would have pushed gas prices up. You know, it's especially because there was someone who posted on, I think it was on like TikTok, it was like filling her gigantic SUV. She's like, thanks, Biden. And it was posted like January 27th or something. It's like he's been in office for a week and she's just like, these gas prices are out of control. And that's something else that happens a lot with these discussions of like inflation and whatnot. It's you start to get where that they're talking about things that aren't they're not basing it in facts. They're like, oh yeah, the price went way up. Like Trump doing that thing where he's like, oh, $1.99 to $7 or whatever the hell he said. It's like none of that was true. So much of what he said was just nonsense falling out of his dying brain, you know?
But I will say true part is that people aren't just shouting random historical figures in the wild anymore. They're just not.
That has not been happening.
Yeah.
I want him to run on that. You know, if he's gonna run, he needs to run on. You're all gonna be saying Thomas Jefferson.
I mean, maybe the last time that actually was a thing was maybe when those people were alive and someone was trying to get their attention, like, "Yo, Abe Lincoln." Like,
I like the idea that like, it's like, oh, Washington's been canceled. It's like, dude, there is a state and our nation's capital are both named after this guy. Two things, and it becomes confusing at times because of this, you know?
Yeah.
But so one thing I do want to give Trump credit for this, and all of the War on Christmas people credit for this. you've got all of these movies. The theme of saving Christmas, it's not new. I mean, I decided to type saving Christmas into IMDb, and I found that Christmas has been saved by dogs, boys, men, Ernest, elves, trees, toys, drones, bears, cops, vampires, Kirk Cameron, Elmo, Nutcrackers, etc. There were like 70 movies that were like blank saved Christmas. So why not be the politician who saved Christmas? And all you have to do is say people are trying to cancel Christmas, and then when Christmas happens, you go, I did it.
Right.
I saved it.
Right.
What did I do? Nothing.
Right. I will say though that's like another point to like the cancellation or the war on Christmas. Like, what other holiday has such a vigorous vigorous amount of films that it has its own genre? Like, the Christmas film is its own genre of movie. There's no other holiday. Like, maybe Halloween comes close, but you can't count that because horror movies are not all about the holiday. So, like, what else? There's no like huge amount of like Hanukkah, Yom Kippur, if we're talking religion, Diwali movie, like, that doesn't exist. And there's no large amount of any other type of movies I could think of for any other holiday. Like, Christmas is the thing. Like, even Hollywood ain't canceling Christmas.
Yeah.
Even those dirty baby-eating liberals in Hollywood aren't even canceling Christmas.
But yeah, I mean, it's such a goofy thing that I honestly can't. I am fascinated and horrified by the whole thing because on one hand you have just the genius of the political argument, where you frame yourself as being the pro Christmas party, and thereby frame the other party as anti-Christmas, which is not true. I mean, people have convinced themselves that Obama never said Merry Christmas. There are videos of him repeatedly saying Merry Christmas over and over and over. People have made these compilations because they're like, no, here's proof. And people go, he didn't say it.
Parker, have you considered that every time Obama said Merry Christmas, he had his fingers crossed behind his back? Yeah.
It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible. But and a lot of the stuff during the Obama years was that they were trying to play to that, is he a secret Muslim kind of thing,
Right.
Which, God,
hey, according to
everything
Trump,
is so dumb.
According to Trump, even the Muslims are saying Merry Christmas nowadays. Even he was propping that up. I mean, so the idea that Obama, the secret Muslim, couldn't be saying Merry Christmas, even that gets thrown out the window with even Trump's own line of thought. I mean, these guys make no sense. No sense.
I mean, but think about how, like, okay, so Democrats get in office, and it's like, here's a big list of things that you need to do, and they're going to be very hard to do. Some easier than others. And Democrats are like, I don't know what to do, and just freak out and not do any of it. But then Republicans get in there, and their list of things to do, it's like evil shit, and then wage fake wars, like be Don Quixote, I mean, that's kind of what it is. It's Trump's waging a war on Christmas. I mean, or he's fighting for Christmas. I mean, you had PolitiFact, who one day I'll talk more about this, but there was a time I criticized PolitiFact. They got very angry and emailed my bosses at Media Matters because I was just like, this is terrible, this is horrible. I think I made fun of how like one of the fact checker dudes looked. I was like, this dude, and it was stupid of me. But anyway, so you know how PolitiFact does these like keeping track of the promises,
right,
and thing that they do, and they're like, promise kept, promise broken, and they're super literal about it. They're like, Trump promised not to make cuts to Social Security or Medicare, promise kept. I mean, every single year he was in office, he proposed cutting Medicare. It's just Congress stopped him from doing it. But they gave him a promise kept because while he tried, he was not successful. And there was, Obama promised to to advocate to pass LGBTQ non-discrimination protections. That didn't happen, so promise broken. And so they gave PolitiFact gave Trump a promise kept for, I want to make sure I've got the wording right. Here was the promise he made. If I become president, we're going to be saying a Merry Christmas at every store.
Promise
you
kept.
You can leave Happy Holidays at the corner. Other religions can do what they want.
I'm gonna assume that PolitiFact literally sent someone to every store in America to confirm, because I remember like if I don't know, like during like the 2020 primaries or 2016 primaries, like if Bernie Sanders said something where they could like twist it into like like if he said like 125,000 people are, and it's just a random number, don't come at me if I'm just making something up here. 125,000 people don't have any insurance. They're like, we did the numbers. It's actually 125,005. Bernie Sanders, wrong. I mean, they would be doing that type of shit.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, they did that constantly. But with Trump, he lied so constantly that you had places like PolitiFact grading him on. I mean, it was the same curve that so many people in media graded him on, where it was like, well, he didn't shit his pants on stage, so great job. Like that was like the bar that they set for him.
I mean, honestly, if he didn't shit his pants on stage, I think I would be saying he didn't keep his promise. I was expecting some pants shitting.
I was expecting shit, but yeah, and so basically, the PolitiFact thing is hilarious though, because they were like, yeah, so for the second year in a row, the official White House Christmas card says Merry Christmas. And it does not say Happy Holidays anywhere. And we couldn't find Happy Holidays mentions on Trump's Twitter account since taking office. What? I mean, come on. It's so frustrating. And they did it twice. They did it 2 times, 2017 and 2018. They had someone write a whole article fact-checking this and saying Trump's keeping his promise.
Wow.
Everything is so unbelievably dumb.
Wow. I mean,
yeah,
it's he got so many passes, but the idea that you would even like bother giving him a credit for people saying Merry Christmas is the most ridiculously absurd thing.
Oh,
like, I think that might take the cake, honestly.
I just clicked over to the PolitiFact page for like the Biden promise tracker. It's not going to end well for him on this. Like, because he made a lot of big promises.
Yeah. He's
good luck.
He should have kept it more realistic, like Merry Christmas.
You should have said you would say Merry Christmas every once in a while.
He's a Catholic too. He could have made it happen probably a lot easier than Trump.
The top one right now is get COVID-19 under control. I mean, eventually, hopefully, I know it's off topic, but I keep thinking about hitting the 1 million death mark.
Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I don't even know. I am trying to prepare myself for how I'm going to feel when we hit this terrifying, horrible milestone that most people are still struggling about.
Well, the thing is, when we do hit that, there's people who would be like, "That's it, only 1 million." I was told there'd be like 10 million deaths. Huh.
Yeah.
All this for nothing. All this for nothing.
Yeah, well, if not for Donald Trump and his great leadership, we would have been at 50 million.
Right. Listen, if it wasn't for Trump fast-tracking those vaccines that we refuse to take because they use it to track us and it's going to kill us in a few months, if it wasn't for Trump fast-tracking those vaccines, we'd all be dead right now. Thank God for Trump and those vaccines, which I don't trust and will not take.
Oh, man.
Well, Parker, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And a happy holidays. And a happy New Year. Right. And a happy Kwanzaa. And a happy future Christmas.
I
covered all my bases.
I always knew you were an anti-Semite, Parker. No Hanukkah. I get it. It's fine.
No Hanukkah.
It's fine. No, but it's been too long. Great to have you back on the show. Hope to have you on again soon. Everyone needs to check out your great new newsletter. Well, actually, why don't you? Because people, it always makes sense for you for the guest to promote what they'd like to promote. Take as long as you'd like right now. Drop all the different promos, the links, the social media handles. Take it away.
So, here's the thing. In June, I quit my job at Media Matters because I was like, all these people are starting newsletters, and that's like this big thing. And I was like, I have a ton of people who follow me on Twitter, so they'll probably sign up. They didn't, which fair. I don't like getting emails either. But if you, person listening to this right now, wanted to sign up for my newsletter, in which I write about stuff like this and I talk about stuff like this, you can do so by going to readthepresentage.com. So that's read, READTHE, present, PRESENT, AGE. Yeah. Just, little spelling quiz for myself. And there, what I try to do is I try to write about things that interest me and things that change over time. I like to pull up old newspapers. I like to pull up examples of, here's the first use of such and such term, because I find that stuff fascinating. While researching for something last week, I came across the time the New York Times accidentally published Karl Marx's obituary like 13 years before he died. Like it wasn't even close. I love just doing stuff like that, looking into old media things, because I am obsessed with media generally.
That's how I learned from your newsletter that the war on Christmas goes all the way back to 1920 with Ford. I was actually quite shocked. I mean, I guess I could have assumed that there was going to be some sort of, bullshit where there was some sort of, drama surrounding Christmas. But the way it was like the exact same argument was a little bit jarring. That was
So
there you
sign up for my newsletter. Do that. There are free subscriptions, there are paid subscriptions, and all I want you, person listening to this, to do is to sign up for a free one. And if you like it, maybe pay in the future. If you don't, unsubscribe. I'll be nice. I don't care. It's I respond to people who reply to me. I have conversations in the comments. It's actually a lot of fun.
Right. Or just keep subscribing to the free one and see where it goes from there. You never know what'll happen down the line.
I'll have to start throwing up some paywalls.
Right. Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun.
And at Parker Molloy on Twitter, can't forget that.
Yeah. Do follow me on Twitter.
Yeah. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that fun stuff. I'm looking forward to 2022. I wonder what it'll bring. Nothing good, I'm sure. Probably.
No, it'll only get worse. Yeah. I said that in 2019 going into 2020. Said that in 2020 going into 21. You can't go wrong with betting that things will get worse.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we are doomed.
That's why I called this show that, right? Yep.
There you go. It's the name of the show. We worked it in there.
Yeah. Have a great night, Parker. Take care. Oh, that was great. I had a lot of fun with that. First of all, the topic is great. And then I always enjoy having Parker Molloy on this show. In fact, it has been too long. I don't know why it's been so long. I need to go back into the early days of the show and see what other great guests just because of like the pandemic, like getting me off track, seeing who I haven't had on this show in a long time and get them back on for all new content, because a lot has happened since they've been back, since they've last been on. All right, folks, we got a lot more show for you. I'll be taking phone calls. I'm still not monetized on YouTube. It's almost going to be a month now since they let me reapply for remonetization. It's been more than 2 months now since I was monetized. It sucks. I can't read your super chats, but I'll try to follow the comments here, and you can watch me on youtube.com/MattBinder. You can watch me on twitch.tv/MattBinder. If you are on Twitch, I am an affiliate there, and you could drop me a subscription. If you have a Amazon Prime subscription, you actually get a free Twitch subscription already included with your Prime. So if you haven't already given that to another Twitch channel, you can basically take money from Jeff Bezos at no extra cost for you and give it to me. It's like you're Robin Hood here, and you're robbing Jeff Bezos and giving to poor Matt Binder. Twitch.tv/MattBinder. What else? Oh, of course, the Patreon. Patreon.com/MattBinder. That is the best way to support this show, quite honestly, if you can financially support the show. I know it is a reoccurring monthly subscription. I only ask for $5. That's $1.25 a week. It's like 30 cents a day, maybe less. I don't even know. I can't even. It's not 30 cents a day, but I don't know how much it is. Maybe it is 30 cents a day. Who knows? I can't do math right now. I'm exhausted. My kids woke up at 5 a.m. today. But I still got a lot more shows, so I'm gonna keep going. I just need caffeine, which I got right here. Patreon.com/MattBinder. I neglected to thank the patrons on the first half of the show last week. So I got a lot of people to thank this week. I thanked them on the second half, so they're going to get another thank you on this half of the show. So let's go. So what would it be? Everyone who subscribed. I got to go back a couple days. All right, here we go. The patrons who've joined the show in the last few weeks, and it's actually not that many because December is a tough month for people, I think. And to that I say I feel you. James Z is your guy. TCK, Shore Rap, Bitchy Pundit, C/ and NAM or NEM or ANAM. I'm sorry. There's an accent on the A in your name. I'm not sure if I should be saying Ane or Annie. Feel free to message me if you want, and I'll be happy to say your name again next week the proper way. Thank you all so much for becoming patrons. Like I said, tough month for people. Had a few cancellations and declines. So every little bit helps me you're keeping me above that previous goal that I went past. So that's great. So patreon.com/MattBinder. If you can, twitch.tv/MattBinder. Subscribe there too. That's if you got Amazon Prime, that's a freebie. What else? I'm gonna give you more ways soon. I've been saying that for who knows how long, but I will set that up and get that to you guys. I promise. The crypto show is coming. Let me also, you might be saying, why is Matt doing his Christmas episode on December 16th? Maybe you're not. That seems like mid-December seems like a completely decent time to have a Christmas holiday episode. But I noticed a lot of people started taking off and all at the beginning of December from their show, podcast, YouTube channel, whatever. Some people taking off now. Some people taking off for the next 2 weeks. I will say this. Guest-wise, being that we'll be talking on, I think the next time this is going to be an episode, probably going to hold it instead of next Thursday, next Wednesday to be safe. But I'll let you guys know for sure. You should follow me on Twitter for that, @MattBinder. But it's close to Christmas. So people might be traveling and such, so getting a guest. So there will be an episode next week. Probably be a fun episode with clips, checking stuff out like that. So bear with me. I'll let you guys know what that is. Then the following week, same thing. It's that week after Christmas, before New Year's, where everyone's traveling, vacation stuff. I'll be giving you guys content for sure. But @MattBinder for exactly when that will be, and obviously for the deets on who's coming on the show. And also, Patreon's a great way. I always give the details to Patreon subscribers first, and then on Twitter. So yeah, doomedcast.com for the podcast version of the show. ratethispodcast.com/doomed for for all the links on where you could leave podcast reviews for the show. What else? Folks, we're going to the second half of the show right now. That's right, the second half of the show right now. A lot more content if you are a Patreon subscriber, or if you're a live stream viewer watching this show live right now, you can stick around and you can even call me. Open up Skype, type in Doomed Live, one word, Doomed Live, and right there the username will pop up. Call in, I'll take your call. Give me a second to open up the Skype line on my end. For freebie podcast listeners and everyone else who might be just tuning in randomly, if I don't speak to you before Festivus, before Christmas Eve, before Christmas, maybe you guys are clocking out until the new year. I want to say Happy Festivus, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, whatever it may be. And I will see you guys all next time on Doomed. I forgot to turn my mic up. Let me retry that. All right, we are back. Wow, I think I even delivered it the exact same way. Let me open up the phone lines. Just give me 1 second here. That is Doomed Live on Skype. Man, I have a lot of plans for the new year. I'll tell you, that crypto show is number one. I'm really looking forward to it, honestly. I'm like really excited. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. I'm almost a little bit afraid that you guys are going to enjoy that show more than this show. I mean, so be it. I don't even care, honestly. Whatever show brings in the viewers, the listeners, the subscribers, whatever, free or not, whatever. Or paid subscribers or free listeners. I don't care. Whatever gets the eyeballs and ears on the content, I'm all for it. But I'm really excited for it. I'm really, really, really excited for it. Okay, call in now. Phone lines are open. First caller of the day. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling to celebrate the true King of Kings.
Oh, Renee.
Sol Invictus.
How you doing, Renee?
Fine. Bit nervous because, and now it's time. I don't know if Ryan Lennon fan is there, the cosplayer himself, but he can laugh at me because now I'm after giving Zoe all that shit about being involved in elections and all that. I'm now going to be an election monitor. Let me shut the.
Oh, what happened? What are you doing?
I'm shutting down the audio on my monitor. Yeah, I'm participating in elections like the bougie menchick that I am. But on the other hand, the Bolsheviks started as a political party, engaging in politics and such. So yeah, because basically, the other thing is that
Renee, let's take a deep breath. You're rambling a bit. Let's get on a topic.
There's several things happening at the same time.
Let's do one of them at a time. We could do them all, but let's do one at a time so we know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That yesterday, finally, Pinochet's widow died. She escaped. I guess she escaped justice and all that, but at least she left this earth knowing that all those like depraved, unfortunates, poor people hated her across the whole continent. So,
I
not
mean,
sure.
we'll take it where we can, right? I mean, it would have been
Yeah, there's a lot of people
preferable.
celebrating it.
Right.
There's a lot of memes saying that Queen Elizabeth is in the lead, that she outlasted her at 99. And what else? There's also political cartoons about like there's demons and the devil, like hiding all the silverware and their money because she's arriving to the gates of hell. So yeah, it's a weird like and there's as I was saying, there's finally the ballotage, the kind of like the second run of elections running up, and it's weird because basically these two candidates, one is like far right, as I said, a descendant of Nazis, and is very like celebratory of Pinochet and all that. He's worse than Bolsonaro because his family is alleged to have tortured union organizers.
Right. So what is this oh, Renee, you froze, buddy. Ooh. Uh-oh. I have to hang up on you. If you want to call back in and talk about the election monitoring thing you're doing, feel free. Anyone else who calls in now, I'll pick up your call too. Don't want it to dead space. But Renee, if you do want to call back in, talk about the next topic, we can do that for sure. Got a lot of clips to get to, actually. I'll take one more call, and then we'll jump right into the clips, and then we'll go back to the calls. What's this? What is this? Who's someone calling in? What is this? This weird message here. All right, we got a caller here. Let's do this. Hey, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Maddie B, it's Mariah.
Oh, you're really low. It sounds like you're really far from your mic.
Shit. Okay, can you hear me now?
Still sounds very low. And I got you turned up all the way.
Okay, one sec. How about now?
Still very low. I don't know what's going on.
Hello?
All right, I think that's a little bit better. I think I can hear you now. Yep.
A little better?
A little better, yep. Is this, you said Mariah?
Yeah, it's Mariah from Portland.
Well, see, that's all you had to do. Now you excitedly said, yeah, Mariah. And now I hear you perfectly fine. Hey, Mariah, how you doing?
Pretty good. It's been a long time since I was able to tune into the stream.
Yes, long time no talk. What have you been up to?
Well, I quit my job. I joined the whole, like, great resignation, whatever, and I finally quit my job.
Well, congratulations. That's cool.
Thank you. Well, I have no job leads yet, but we'll see.
I'm assuming you did so because the job you had wasn't treating you right.
It was just like, yeah, pretty much. It's just like too much work for not enough pay and too much stress and I was a paralegal. And yeah, I don't want to do that anymore ever again. So that's that.
Well, kudos to you. I'm feeling that, and a lot of people I think wouldn't. Well, a lot of people are taking that step, but I think it's still hard. So that's really awesome.
Thank you. I wanted to call in and talk to you about Elon Musk being Time Person of the Year.
Oh yeah, let's do that. That's perfect topic. Elon Musk, Time Person of the Year. I think it's very well deserved. I mean, Tesla's the future. Elon Musk gonna get us all to Mars and save humanity. I'm all on board. Oh no, wait. Sorry, I'm not a weird online internet nerd who absolutely licks the very boots Elon Musk puts his feet into. This is just, I just don't get it at all. I don't get the Musk love. I don't get it at all.
it's so gross, dude. And it's like I mean, it's to me like obviously Time Magazine has always been like a very like reactionary publication. Like, you know, they might like, I don't know, if you ever actually read Time Magazine, they're not a friend of like workers in any way. So it's not super surprising. And we all know that they like in 1938 or 39 or whatever made freaking Adolf Hitler Person of the Year. So it's not like they have like a good track record.
Well, I mean, I think their argument, and I agree with this, is that Person of the Year doesn't necessarily mean they did good things.
Mm-hmm.
They just were the predominant figure of the year. And I mean, if they were arguing that like Elon Musk is just that, I disagree with that on even that point though. Elon Musk is not the Person of the Year, regardless of whether you think he did good or bad, which I'm going to assume. I haven't read the piece. I'm assuming they think he's great. I don't think they have this. I don't think they have any criticisms of Elon Musk that land in anywhere in any area where we'd criticize Elon Musk. But I mean, it's just you know, I don't see it. I don't see. This isn't a guy who even created the technology or was like spearheading the invention of anything. He acquired Tesla. It wasn't even his to begin with. He didn't even found it.
Yeah, he's literally like a useless person. Like
he doesn't even have like the Steve Jobs, Bill Gates story of like you know, tinkering in their garage, their parents' garage, and building the first model of whatever it is. Like, he doesn't even have that. And I'm not saying that to like deify Jobs and Gates. I'm just saying like that's even how low on even that totem pole Elon Musk is.
Yeah, he's like, and that's a good point too, that like he doesn't even have the regular like billionaire, millionaire cred, you know, like, because he literally is just like one of the dumbest people on the planet. he's so dumb. So I don't know, it's pretty obvious to me that like I read somewhere, I don't know if this is true, maybe somebody can fact check this for us, that like one of the editors of Time or one of the owners of Time is invested in SpaceX or yeah. And so that would make, I just saw that before I tried to do some prep before calling in to see if I could have some like good facts for you, but I couldn't like confirm it. But like that's kind of how it feels, right? That it's just like, this is a bought and sold like publication. It's literally a piece of like capitalist propaganda. Like, it's just they want everybody to think that these like millionaires and billionaires are good people and that we shouldn't tax them to death. But we all know that that's the reality, is that these people like their wealth is ill-gotten and they probably shouldn't exist.
Probably.
And
I'll take that a step further and say they should not exist.
They definitely should not exist, and some of them, you know, should probably be in jail for the crimes that they've committed in the names of their companies. You know, like Tesla employees, and I mean, like, freaking, was it on your stream a couple weeks ago? I forget, because I've been watching them like after the fact. That we're talking about like the Tesla, not like the auto, what do they even call it? Like the autopilot, like these cars just like can't even, they're like, people are going to die because these cars, like this feature doesn't actually work.
Oh yeah. The self-driving thing. Is that what you're talking
Self-driving. Yeah. I don't know where I saw it. I don't know if it was you.
I mean, the idea that he's going to get us to Mars is hilarious. And the idea that even if SpaceX did do this, that it would be like to bring everybody with us, like with them, with like something. Yeah, no. Either you're gonna be sent to a rock quarry on Mars, or they're going to leave you all here while they stay here on Earth. And when I say they, I mean the billionaires and millionaires and. You know, or you are going to stay on a dying Earth while they live it up on like the Mars mansions.
Right. Yeah. 100%. and that's like that's like their ultimate goal or whatever, is to just enrich themselves as much as possible while selling us like this kind of liberal like fantasy that like, yeah, you can all continue to live your lives and have like a personal vehicle as long as it's a Tesla, because then it's like environmentally sound, environmentally friendly. And so they're just selling us like this. I mean, it's totally fake, right? Like we're like Matt Leck, you know, from Majority Reports, always saying, like, arguing, like, cars, like, if he was in charge of the world, like, cars wouldn't, like, we wouldn't have cars anymore. And I mean, from like a radical kind of like environmental standpoint, like that's where we need to be going, is like removing cars from the road, like getting rid of this infrastructure that forces people to use like personal vehicles. But Elon Musk is like, no, I can make literally $225 billion a year, like pretending to solve like a problem that is like destroying the planet, right?
Right. Yeah, it is, not surprising that the, media would give him adulation. And I mean, we see it online, even just from like weirdos who think that like he's so great and it's but so I mean, gross, it is what it is. I wouldn't, who cares about Time Person of the Year though when it comes down to it, right? I mean, obviously good to talk about it because it's a broader thing in terms of like what people think about him in the general sense, but in terms of like Time magazine itself, who cares? Meaningless publication that's meant less and less every year as time goes on.
Totally meaningless. I agree. And yeah, just we can wrap it up, but yeah, it's like it's just general like media critique, right? Like the more aware we are that they're trying to sell us like a narrative about capitalists and about like what they actually contribute to society, that like the more aware we are of that, the more we can counteract it. So yeah, fuck the capitalists, right?
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Mariah.
Yep.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whichever one. I hope I'm canceled. Whichever one bothers you, I hope I'm canceled. Have a great night.
Thanks, Matt. Bye.
Bye. Oh, someone just tried to call in, I think. If you want one more call, and then I'll get to some. I got a lot of clips. Actually, this is a good clip to do really quick, I think, if no one's going to call in right now. I can get to this one first because it is, it's something. It's something. Let me set it up while, that's not the one I want to play. That's from last week. This is the one I want to play. Okay. All right. One more call. Here we go. Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Matt.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, you cut out for a second. How you doing? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Dr. Gus calling from Florida.
Hey, Dr. Gus. Ooh, you want to stick around for the next clip, by the way, Mr. Floridian?
Yeah. I already kind of imagine what you're... Oh, it's hard to imagine what you're going to talk about because there's so much crap going on right now here. Yeah.
What would you like to talk about?
Around. I was actually going to talk about a little bit about Florida and DeSantis, I guess.
I know what he's up to. I've been paying attention, but what would you like to talk about that he's up to?
Well, actually, two things. I'll start with Trump, and then I'll get to DeSantis. I told you last week. I saw you talked in MR today about the SPAC that Trump put together for his social media company.
Yes. It's basic. People don't know. It's basically like a shell corporation that's created specifically with a space on the stock market, so that when they do merge with a company, like an actual like name brand organization, they get like that name brand organization does it basically. Like what the SPAC provides is the stock market ticker symbol on the market, and what the brand provides is an actual name value. For example, UFC is on the stock market because they, as an Ultimate Fighting Championship, because their parent company basically did something like that, where they merged with another company that was already on the stock market, SPAC, specifically to get into the stock market. Trump's new media organization did this with an SPAC. Go ahead. What would you like to say about it?
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, like a couple months ago, I was at a wedding here in Florida, and I met the guy, the owners of the VC company that's actually running, or actually, putting together the SPAC for the Trump company. And it was kind of a surreal experience because I met the guy. Yeah. So I met him. This wedding was a bunch of University of Florida psychology graduate students, and it's a very for Florida, very left wing, but a bunch of libs really, but all Democrats and whatnot. And this guy, he's the spouse of one of these students. He's a multimillionaire from the Northeast. And I met, I was talking to the guy, and he was, talking all this shit about Trump. Trump is a piece of shit. Can't believe he's like that. Like, he was just constantly, I don't know, we're talking about politics in general. He was talking about the cruelty of Trump and all that. And then we started talking about the economy a bit. The guy obviously turns out to be a libertarian. And then he just starts talking about how his company is making a shit ton of money on this SPAC. Like, they don't give a fuck. Like, the guy just hates Trump, but he's just aiding him in making all this money back that I guess he lost or he owes from all the lawsuits of the presidency. So this guy, he's like constantly shitting on Trump, and he's living off of him at the same time, which kind of like reminds me that it's so easy to get these right wingers, including libertarians, to just fall in line if you just kind of throw money their way, and that's what all these people are doing, and it's happening with DeSantis in Florida too.
Right.
Yeah. So in Florida with DeSantis, maybe 2016, DeSantis was running the primary with against Putnam. Putnam was just kind of like a regular Republican from Florida. He had like worked his way up the party. He was general usual Republican stuff. No overt racism, but dog whistles here and there once in a while. And so I was at a meeting of the Florida dairy producers. This was the week after DeSantis beat Putnam in the primary, and the topic of the meeting was all these like really high earning dairy producers across Florida. They were just losing their shit because they were afraid that DeSantis. They were like, oh man, this crazy Trump. These guys are all Republican, obviously, and they were all losing their shit because they were afraid that DeSantis was going to lose, or if he won, he would be just like a crazy Trumper. And they were like, oh, we worked so hard on like grooming this Putnam guy. This was like a university sponsored event for dairy producers, and they were like openly talking about this shit. I was just a student listening in. I was like, holy crap! So these guys are like, yeah, we put so much effort and money into Putnam, and he lost. We're afraid of DeSantis. This guy's crazy. Fuck DeSantis. Blah blah blah. He's gonna lose. He's gonna make it. So this was 2016, I guess. And then 2 years later, now DeSantis started passing. Like, he won as the governor. He started passing all these pro farming bills. For example, he just signed one that basically makes it impossible for a city to sue a farm for nuisance, for like pollution, for anything like that. It just like makes it impossible for any kind of lawsuit to go ahead against a farm. And now in the latest iteration of this meeting, the same guys, same things. The topics are like, they love DeSantis. They're super excited about it. They're kind of sad that he's going to run for president and not be the governor anymore. Exactly the same guys that were talking shit about him 4 years ago. And the main topic of the whole, this is inside the University of Florida. The main topic of the whole thing was how they want to push for anti-terrorism laws for animal rights activists that film inside farms. Like, these guys just completely lost their shit, and basically just because DeSantis threw money their way.
Jeez, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
That's the. Well, first of all, thank you for some of that. I didn't know a lot of that, obviously, and yeah, I mean, that's sort of like how it works with these guys, isn't it? Though, right? I mean, it's all about. No, what were we gonna say?
And it's so easy. They just like the Republicans find it so easy to just throw some money their way, and everyone falls in line. And then you have the opposite, like you have the mirror of that. What fucking Biden's doing with his party. Like they're just completely incapable of throwing anyone a bone, half a bone, anything.
Right.
It's insane.
Right. It's like one party, obviously they suck. Republicans are horrible, but one party knows exactly what they're doing and how to get what they want, and they actually fight for what they want, even though what they want is horrible. And then there's the other side where they just don't seem to give a shit. They don't. I mean, I really don't understand that. Like even on a level of like you want to keep your powerful position in Congress, right? Like some of them don't even seem to even care for that. Like especially when you have Republicans all around the country, gerrymandering districts and working to change voting laws. So it'll be just harder and harder for Democrats to win. You think that, even that, on the very sense that it is directly going to affect their ability to get reelected, even if it's just for them to sit there and enrich themselves, like some Democrats seem to do, I should say. You think that would even light a fire under their ass, but it doesn't.
It's kind of hard to
like even for the most even for the most selfish reasons, it doesn't even seem like they want to fight for themselves. Like it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre.
In topics that in things that have like 80-70% approval across the nation, that they're not going to lose any votes. There's no risk to it. They don't even do that kind of shit. It's crazy.
All right. You know what I was thinking about? Because you mentioned the SPAC stuff. I meant to do a story on this. It's not too political. It's more of a financial story. Maybe it's one for the crypto show, even though it's not a crypto story either, but does fit in that world. Have you heard about this deli, this little local New Jersey deli that's on the stock market via an SPAC?
No.
So basically, some like financial guy wanted to shine a light on how absurd the SPAC system is. So basically, you can buy stocks on the stock market, like on the legit stock market, like trading alongside Apple and Amazon and Tesla, whatever else. There is a little New Jersey deli that makes something like $117,000 a year or something like that has a value of like $117 million via this SPAC. It's insane.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's insane.
Nice.
Yeah. I gotta go more into that on this show or the other show for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated stuff. I tried to look into it when I heard this guy talk about it. Because another conversation I had with this guy is that right when we talked about it, do you remember Dave Rubin put together Locals, I think it's called? And then it got acquired by some, like maybe Rumble. Have you heard about that?
What was that?
So Dave Rubin had launched his social media thing called
Locals.
I think
Rumble
Locals.
bought it. Yeah, Rumble bought it.
Yeah. So I was talking when this guy told me that
they're going on the stock. Rumble is going to be on the stock market via an SPAC too.
Exactly. So I told this guy, I was like, when he told me he was into that, he was like running that SPAC for Trump. I was like, oh shit! Like, have you heard what happened with Rumble and all that? And he's like, he had no fucking idea of it, like no idea of any of that. Like those are his direct competitors. They don't give a shit. It's just like they're just printing money.
It is a hugely something. I don't even know what word to exactly use it, because it's actually it just shows you how absurd everything is. Like the idea that you can get a shortcut onto the stock market by merging with a shell company that then basically you all it's enriching everyone involved. Because look at all these people who are buying into Trump's SPAC and they don't even have a fucking product. There's nothing. There's no service. The social media platform, Truth Social, hasn't even launched. There's nothing that he's selling. And this new media organization is worth hundreds of millions of dollars because of this SPAC deal. It is absurd.
When you look into this, can you look into like the legality of Trump just like calling in favors to people that owe him money, just like, oh yeah, buy buy the SPAC stock or whatever just to pay off favors.
People who owe him money. I'm wondering how I'm wondering what the deal is in terms of him owing people money. Like,
well, there's also that.
Like he's got to owe the people involved with the shell company who have the SPAC. He's got to owe them money, and he's cashing in for them via his brand name. That's how I look at it. I don't think they owe him money. Maybe I'm wrong there, but that was my first guess, that he must owe these people something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's probably paying back favors.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Man,
we gotta set up an SPAC and an ICO for Doomed.
I would jump on that in a second. Let me tell you, if someone wanted to pay me $100 million for anything, the show, whatever, I will happily sell it to them for $100 million if that's the valuation. Thanks for the call. Always a pleasure when you call in. Take care.
Are you wait? Don't let me go yet. Are you gonna be at the live show, the MR live show?
Nah. It's in Massachusetts. I'm not gonna be in Massachusetts then. Sounds like they're gonna have plenty of guests who are local to the area. Sam's not bringing me and Brendan.
No, that's some heartbreaking stuff. I got tickets just to see. Oh no.
I mean, you guys shouldn't expect it either. It was obviously going to be the main MR. It was going to be Matt, Lek, Emma, Sam.
Yeah, but you're one of the OGs, man. Come on.
Yeah, I'm only on once a. I don't even know when the show is. It's like the first week of January, right?
It's the 16th.
No, second week of January. Not even third week of January. Close enough, buddy. Close enough. Thanks for the call.
All right. Thanks for having.
What I'm gonna have to do, and I do want to do this. I just haven't done it yet. It's obviously not going to be nowhere near the size of the Majority Report one. Probably a very, very, very small venue. But I do want to do a live show, and I probably will do at least one, hopefully in 2022. That's one of my goals for this year, one of my New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll show up for it. You have at least one ticket sell. So there you go.
And you're not even from New York, so if I got someone coming all the way from Florida, I'm set.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll take a flight over there.
Damn, you're lighting a fire under me to get this going.
Do it. Yeah, gotta do it.
All right,
gotta
man.
be quick. All right, man. Looking forward to your crypto show, and thanks for taking my call.
Thank you. Take care. Bye. All right, I am gonna hang up the phones just temporarily because I got some clips, and maybe I'll log back in for one more call after the clips. Maybe. Let's see where are we at right now. How long has this show been so far? I cannot do another 3-hour marathon, a 4-hour marathon I did last week. Like I said, kids woke me up at 5 a.m. this morning. I am exhausted. Let's do this though, because this one's a good one. So, folks. All you've probably been hearing for the past, how long's it been? Year and month, maybe 2 months now, from Republicans and the MAGA folks, the Trump supporters, the QAnon believers, is about all the massive amount of election fraud that happened in the 2020 presidential election that basically caused Joe Biden to fraudulently win the presidential election, when in reality, when you actually fix the results to remove all the illegal votes, you get a Donald Trump victory. None of this is true. I want to be crystal clear. That is all rampant conspiracy theory and misinformation. Joe Biden officially and legitimately won the 2020 presidential election. But still, Republicans continue to harp on the fact that there is voter fraud and Dems are voting when they're not supposed to vote, etc., etc., etc. Well, folks, I got some good news for those Republicans. They discovered some voter fraud down in Florida. Let one of the local news affiliates cue you all in into what exactly happened with this voter fraud. And let me tell you, the Trump people are going to be so angry at what they hear here. I'm already, it's just unbelievable. Can't believe it.
Lisa, it appears this may be the first time in at least 20 years that anyone in Sumter County has been arrested and prosecuted for casting more than one vote. And we could find very few similar cases in other Central Florida counties.
This is huge. Huge in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis. You got Republicans basically owning the state. All of its branches, Republican-led. Obviously, we have some devious Dems down in Florida trying to cheat to win. Let's continue here. That's what I'm assuming.
No one answered the door at the home of Jay Ketsick. He's one of 3 residents of the Villages who've recently been arrested on charges related to voter fraud. Investigators say Ketsick voted by mail in Florida during the 2020 election and then cast a second absentee ballot in his home state of Michigan.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
Likewise, while living in this home in the Villages, investigators say Joan Halstead voted twice, once in Florida and once by absentee ballot in New York. We don't know who Ketsick and Halstead voted for in the...
Now, we don't know who they voted for. That's unfortunate. I mean, they're in the Villages, so maybe that in Florida, and we know that is a older folks area in Florida, and older white boomer-aged people tend to vote Trump, but we just won't know. We just won't know. Let's continue. Maybe this local affiliate has something more to add, but it's just impossible to know who these people voted for.
2020 election. Records show both are registered as Republicans in Florida, and both express support for former President Donald Trump on their Facebook pages. A third...
Of course. Of course.
Republican voter from the Villages, John Ryder, was arrested on a warrant while at a Port Canaveral cruise ship terminal.
Ooh. Of course. Of course. I mean, come on. Look at these two. Of course they voted for Donald Trump. Multiple times. Illegally. Right there are your illegal votes. Right there are your illegal voters. Right there is your voter fraud. It is literally like every time this comes out that there was some sort of voter fraud perpetuated in some town in America, it's always some older white person who is a registered Republican who a lot of times they actually find out because they come out and say that they voted, like the ballot is intercepted or something, and they're trying to illegally cast extra votes for Donald Trump. Of course. Of course. I just love how the local affiliate did this, though, where they were like, we can't know who they voted for, but I want to hear that one more time. It's funny.
New York. We don't know who Ketsick and Halstead voted for in the 2020 election. Records show both are registered as Republicans in Florida, and both express support for former President Donald Trump on their Facebook pages.
What is this? Oh, my God. Look at that picture of Donald Trump. Unbelievable. Look at these people. Unbelievable. Well, one thing you can guarantee, though, is that they'll receive a slap on the wrist. I mean, I'm not holding out hope that they're going to be made an example of. In Texas, I believe you had a black woman who left prison and voted because she did not, just once, but she did not realize that being that she had a felony record, she wasn't eligible to vote, and she got sent back to prison for 5 years or something like that. Of course, because she was a black woman. These two, and who even, like, obviously, I know in a court of law, ignorance of the law is not an excuse for breaking the law, but I think it should take into account the punishment that is doled out, and this black woman had a completely legit, she just didn't know that she couldn't vote. She was released from prison. She thought she had all of her rights once again, which if you ask me, you should. She did the time. Even if wherever you stand on the whole prison, the issue of prison, where I probably don't agree with people who even feel like, but whatever. Wherever you fall on the issue of prison, I think we should all be able to agree that once you are released, society should take you back as a full-fledged citizen once again, which gives you the ability to vote. should, in my opinion. This woman did not know that even though she did the time, society still doesn't view her as having done that. And so she voted without knowing that she wasn't allowed to. And she went back to jail. These two, who clearly, I mean, all the talk of their heroes, Donald Trump's talk of voter fraud and casting multiple ballots that the Dems obviously do to cheat, to win illegal voting, voter fraud. They knew they were doing wrong, and they did it anyway, purposefully, for Donald Trump. And I would be shocked if there was some sort of significant punishment. They'll get at most, if I was to guess. I would be happy to be wrong. So if I'm wrong, good. But at most, I'm going to guess like maybe a couple days in a jail cell, if at most. Maybe a slap on the wrist fine. Maybe in the four figures, if not just a couple $100, if even that. I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. And now let's go to let's do, oh boy, I'm yawning. Oh boy. I do want to get to these stories though. All right, let's do this because these are, all right, let me do this one because it's going to take a little bit out of me, whereas the other ones I could sit back and watch with you guys. All right. So, folks, Steven Crowder, the conservative comedian with 5.5 million YouTube subscribers. I believe he may very well be one of, if not the largest political content channel on YouTube. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. He's certainly the largest conservative channel, largest right-winger personality on YouTube. He has just received this week a second strike from YouTube for violating the company's hate speech policy. Now, I reported back in October that Steven Crowder received a strike and received a week-long YouTube suspension. He couldn't stream or upload for a week on YouTube, and he received a strike, which stays on his record for 90 days back in mid-October, for once again breaking their hate speech policy when he went on this rant covering this story about transgender inmates in California. Now, the story, I debunked it. It turned out to be propaganda pushed by an anti-trans turf organization that Steven Crowder was seemingly unquestionably took their content and reported it as the news, while obviously cracking his jokes and trying to hide behind, cracking his anti-trans jokes, I should say, while trying to hide behind the fact that he was just covering the news. Again, it was fake news, and even if it was, doesn't really give you the ability to violate YouTube's policies on hate speech surrounding the LGBTQ community. He's done it again, folks, just this week. And he's got his second strike, which means he will be suspended from YouTube for 2 weeks now, which, according to Crowder, keeps him off the platform for the rest of the year. He's still streaming. He's streaming via Rumble, the alternative video platform that has become very popular with right-wingers over the past year. And the video that got him suspended was titled, "The Left Hates Elon Musk Because He's Too Based." And it's from December 14th. Now, you might be wondering what Elon Musk has anything to do with all of this. It has nothing to do with the suspension, honestly. That's just the title of the live stream. I was able to watch the live stream that is now been deleted off YouTube. And I got a response from YouTube which clarified that it was something in the live stream that specifically repeatedly targeted the LGBTQ community. They don't specify exactly what. And through watching his live stream, I was able to pinpoint one of two segments, maybe both, honestly, but the one of two segments that possibly contributed to this strike. Now, I should note, this is second strike, 2 week suspension this time. These strikes last for 90 days, and then they expire. But if within that time frame, Steven Crowder gets a third strike, his channel will be terminated permanently. Again, that first strike was in mid-October. That means it's probably going to expire in mid-January. He's not going to be streaming again until the beginning of January. He's got like 2 weeks to not be transphobic or homophobic for that first strike to expire. So then that second strike would then become the first, and he could receive another strike without getting his channel permanently terminated. Can he withstand? Can he withhold? Can he just not make a transphobic or homophobic comment in a 2 week time span? That remains to be seen. We'll see. But let me play these clips. I'm not going to play them all because I don't want to give this stuff. The last clip from last time I played it all because I was debunking it. This time it's just him being an asshole. But I do want to let people know what this guy is spreading. And I'm going to play a short clip of the 2 segments I believe contributed to the strike. I'm going to commentate on them to uphold YouTube's policies on this type of stuff, to let you all know just how horrific and transphobic this shit is. And it's the fact that YouTube lets him continue to just skate by, honestly. And, because he knows what he's doing. Like, I don't know if he's purposely trying to get banned, because, again, 5.5 million subscribers is a lot to lose. He is demonetized permanently. He doesn't make money off his channel from YouTube. But to be able to stream to 5.5 million people, subscribers, and then forward them to your website where they could sign up to his mug club or whatever it is, or buy his merch. I mean, that's a large audience to fucking, be playing with fire in terms of losing. Whatever press he would get from being banned from YouTube, it just wouldn't last that long comparatively to the losses I think he would get from losing a 5.5 million subbed channel. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he has a different calculation. But I do think he purposely just walks to that line. He purposely just walks up to that 2 strike limit, and then goes, look what I did. Waits for those strikes to expire, and then he does it again. Because this isn't the first time he's received 2 strikes. They've just previously expired. But let's play these clips. The first one is really fucking gross. Especially gross. It's just a parody Christmas song. I don't know what he's trying to parody. It's just like a comedy holiday song about a guy who's at a store who runs into an ex-girlfriend, and oh no, oh my god, here's the big hilarious reveal. That ex-girlfriend turns out to be transgender. She transitioned into she went through the surgery to transition to a trans man. And that's the big joke. I mean, just ridiculous shit. But I want to show you guys what this guy is doing, and that YouTube is letting him just play with these strikes so he can constantly just, get 2 strikes, let them expire, do it all over again, just so he could continue to get away with breaking those rules. It's just so ridiculous. Here's this. Oh, you see the name of the name of the song. Post-op Auld Lang Syne. And of course, by the way, Crowder's got to play the guy in the video. I ran into her in the frozen foods, and I could not quite believe I didn't recognize the face. Like this is the comedy that you're getting from Louder with Crowder. She went to hug me and the clouds dispersed. My old girlfriend was now a guy. Isn't that so funny? He really thinks that like cross-dressing is like top-tier comedy. He's constantly dressing up in dresses. He's constantly in this. He has a woman dressing up as a guy with the fake mustache and beard. It's just so stupid, so stupid. I'm not going to play this whole thing because it's not worth it. But to me, actually, the grossest moment, just to really give you an idea of how gross this is the suicide joke, and I say with quotations, that comes at the end of this song. Here, I'll play this part right here. Just... I knew about the increased risk of her pending suicide. Yeah, really funny. Really funny stuff. That's what Christmas is all about, right? This is what Christmas is all about. The shots to the sausages in the grocery store. These guys are top tier stuff. I mean, really, really top of the line comedy. This is what YouTube thinks is, they believe they are fairly dishing out punishment to Steven Crowder. But, he'll do this, take that strike for 90 days. Do it again maybe within those 90 days, get the second strike. He'll just wait 90 days, then he'll put another one. Get a strike, wait 90 days, put another one. Now that may be the segment. Or it may be this one. And guess what? He couldn't help himself. He had to talk about the disgusting J.K. Rowling anti-trans saga on Twitter, where she talked about penised individuals or something. I don't remember what the fuck the Harry Potter author. She's so obsessed with this shit. Apparently, I'll cue it up here. Basically, J.K. Rowling is obsessed with a story where Police Scotland are apparently going to log rapists by their gender identity. So, for example, if a person is arrested for rape and they say they identify as a woman, they will log them as a woman because that's how they identify. And this has really pissed off J.K. Rowling. I don't know why this billionaire with her literal castle cares so much about these issues. But she does. And obviously here comes Steven Crowder running to her side because these are the strange bedfellows, maybe not so strange. These are the people who unite to basically shit on truly one of the most vulnerable groups in our country and, quite frankly, in a lot of countries. Let's play this clip. I think I've queued it up almost exactly to where it is. Here we go.
Everyone shut up. You don't want to become the monsters that you hate. Next thing you know, at the end of the show, we're all going to be preferring women with flat stomachs.
I know. We're all going to be perfectly fit.
Take perfect craps. We're all going to believe that men and women are born and not created on a questionnaire. Come on. Where does this end? All right. So J.K. Rowling responded because here's something that happened first. Okay, Scottish police said that they were going to allow male rapists to identify as female. Now, what did happen is there was a male who was a sexually violent felon. I'm trying to, okay, look, a dude who raped somebody, then claimed he was a chick, got put into prison, and allegedly raped another woman.
That's probably the part there that got him the strike, honestly. From my own personal opinion of my understanding of YouTube's policies, that's probably the one that did it more than anything. But let's continue, because he goes on. I mean, but that's probably the beginning of it.
What? I know. Who'd have seen that? Who allegedly raped another woman with his penis. Well, wait, hold on a second. He raped a woman with his penis. Yeah. So why are you doing this? I feel like it gives me cover for not having to be right about anything.
I like that courts are also playing pretend.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
So on Sunday, J.K. Rowling, author of Harry Potter, tweeted in response, "War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. The penised individual who raped you is a woman."
I mean, J.K. Rowling, we should really take a moment to really shit on her right here, because that is a fucking tweet now, isn't it? My God. The penised individual. I mean, lady's got problems. She's got some really big problems. I mean, you think with all that money, you think you would just sit back and let the Harry Potter books speak for themselves? I'm not even a Harry Potter fan. I know they're a beloved series, though. But you think you just coast on that? You know, never. Why get involved with any of this? Anything that's going to cause any problems? Why sully the series that's beloved by children, which is what she's done, honestly. I mean, just. But apparently, this issue is that important to her that she's going to go ahead and just be virulently anti-trans.
Penised individual who raped you is a woman. Great.
Penis individual?
Yes.
Logical sentence.
Well, what else do you say when you say man? They say can't say man. Then you say male, can't say male. Penised individual?
She's just promoting her new book, Scary Cocker.
Yes.
These guys, really top tier comedy here.
We shan't. His little lightning bolt is just a wiener. Like, oh my gosh, guys, I knew it. Oh, did I drink too much butterbeer again? You guys are assholes.
Harry gets put in a woman's prison.
Yes.
I'm a girl.
Next thing, Hermione's pregnant with twins. All right.
It is man.
They just fly out.
I like that the sidekicks, Harry Potter. His Harry Potter. I don't even know I don't know if you could call it impression. It's just him going, "I'm a girl." Just, this is what 5.5 million people subscribe to and love and think is funny. I mean, you want to talk about a decaying culture. Right wingers love to talk about that. This is what passes for comedic entertainment, for jokes. This isn't even like lowbrow potty humor. I find that stuff funny sometimes, like just dumb jokes. This is not even that. It's just not even a joke.
Oh, white owls, Harry. So,
I can't help it.
Now, naturally, of course, liberals, leftists, they're outraged.
They've hated her for a
by
while,
the clearly
right? Yeah, it's been
deranged
a while.
remarks. Yeah. So, Queer Eye grooming expert Jonathan Van Ness.
That's an interesting
tweeted,
title.
The biggest threats of.
You see what they did there? Do you get the joke there? That Queer Eye grooming expert or stylist or whatever it was that he said, which obviously means in terms of like male grooming, haircuts, makeup, eyebrow threading, whatever. I'm not, as you can see, I'm not too into that stuff, but it is what it is. They're making the joke that, oh, gay people grooming children, right? Because that's what, that's what gay people are. That's the joke. They're, to conservatives, gay, pedophile, it's the same thing. Ha 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 ha. I mean, that's probably one of the things that got the strike right there, too.
Oh, I guarantee you, he has the entire hardcover
really-
Harry Potter collection.
Oh my God, it's
Would you like to come in? Look, I have all the Harry Potters, leather bound, and treats.
Queer Eye grooming expert. Yes, that's my job. Pleasure to meet you.
Jonathan, and by the way, the media does this. We only try to go through blue check marks. I will encourage you to go watch the show reactions to this, but especially every show on YouTube, I don't want to give them the viewership. I'm sure you can guess. So this person wrote, the biggest threats of violence against women has always been cisgender men, not trans women, unless JK's constant transphobic cherry-picked vitriol convinces you otherwise. But as trans women are assaulted, deprived of work, killed, and raped, JK is safe in her mansion.
I mean, that is objectively true. I mean, that is a spot on point in that tweet. I mean, there's nothing wrong about it. They can think it's a big joke and mock it, but that's just fact. Those are all facts. The idea that these conservatives care so much about the, literally, you could count them on your hands, number of cases of a trans inmate attacking a fellow inmate in a woman's prison. That's what they care so much about. But you'll never hear them talk about the rampant issue where cis men in prison or outside of prison assault, violate, rape women or other men even. And of course, we all know that trans women are disproportionately assaulted and abused and attacked. I mean, this is everything in this tweet. Whatever you think about the Queer Eye guys or this specific Queer Eye individual, this is truth.
Oh, I guarantee you, he has the entire hardcover Harry Potter collection.
Oh my God, it's
Would you like to come in? Look, I have all the Harry Potters, leather bound, and treats.
Queer Eye grooming expert. Yes, that's my job. Pleasure to meet you.
Jonathan, and by the way, the media does this. We only try to go through blue check marks. I will encourage you to go watch the show reactions to this, but especially every show on YouTube, I don't want to give them.
Did I rewind it too much? All right. Well, there's one more thing that he gets to that
women
I want to get to.
Are assaulted, deprived of work, killed, and raped. JK is safe in her mansion. Planet of the Apes star and Black Lives Matter activist DeRay, who claimed the blue vest was his.
Okay, there we go. And weirdly, that didn't bother YouTube, though. That sounds pretty racist to me. I actually watched this earlier for a piece I wrote, and I honestly must have missed this specific line because I was taking notes about the previous tweet when it was playing. Calling a black man a Planet of the Apes star when unless DeRay had and I know what he's talking about. He tries to use it as an excuse where there was one of the monkeys or gorillas or whatever the character was, chimpanzee in one of the more recent Planet of the Apes movies, wore a vest that some people online said was similar to the one that the activist DeRay wears. I mean, he's using that to cover himself, though. You know why Crowder is saying this here. Come on. Come on.
Wrote, it's like J.K. Rowling has nothing else to do in this world but be transphobic. So look, the biggest threats of violence against women has always been cisgender men. Okay, hold on a second here. Let me just boil this down. Let's get rid of the terminology, male, female, man, woman, pan. Your guess is as good as mine. If it's an all-female space, if you don't allow a penis in there, there will be no rape. No penis, no rape. Now,
so Crowder seems to be under the belief that there are no men already inside of an all-women's prison. Cis men, I should say, inside of an all-women's prison, as if male security guards don't exist. The people running the prisons, men. Also, he seems to be under the belief that women can't rape other women, which is obviously not true. Cis women, let me again be clear, cis women can't rape other cis women. I mean, come on.
Here's something that also, think about this. How often do we hear, if it would save one life? If it would save one life, we should ban all guns. If it would stop one rape, #MeToo, we should believe all women. If it would stop one rape, and often
let's continue that down the line. We should never let men and women attend the same bar. They should be forced to attend different facilities when they go drinking, because that will certainly stop a number of rapes. I would guarantee you a lot more rapes would be stopped if men and women weren't allowed to go drinking together at bars than if you did not allow trans women in women's prisons. But Steven's not too concerned about that, because that's not the point.
At really the mercy of believing the best through these proposals, whether it's 3-strike policies, whether it's bail reform, whether you're talking about neighborhood watches, patrolling, rape kits, right? All of these things, you don't necessarily know how many rapes those will prevent, but you believe it. Here, we have a very, very simple, not low-cost, no-cost solution to quantifiably stop rapes. You can say how many rapes happened from penises being in all women's spaces. No more penises. There you go. You stopped several dozen rapes.
And that's not. See, there you go. That's Crowder just automatically assuming that trans inmates are inherently proposed to being rapists. Like they will rape is his. That's what he's claiming here. There's no proof, obviously. There's no data that shows this. There's no data that shows that trans people are rape in numbers that in prison that go beyond what cis men do in prison. It's just bullshit from Steven Crowder. It's just pure bullshit meant to demonize trans people. That's all this is.
No! All you need to do right now to stop at least one rape is when a guy says, I know that I raped someone and you're going to put me in the male prison. I would like to be in the female Oz. No! That's it!
Yeah, you don't give him a golden ticket to the chocolate factory.
Right.
Where it's like, enjoy everything you want.
Right.
Oh, can I drink from here? Yes.
Why do you have to get racial?
What? Well, I'm just saying it's.
So you're saying it's like a math equation. So if we drew a penis on the board, and you're saying draw a circle around it and then a line through it, and then it would equal 0.
Maybe they're thinking it's like when you smoke a cigarette, and your dad's like, "Now you gotta smoke a whole carton." It's like try to.
I'm done with this. And just clearly you guys know why he was suspended and received that second strike. It's right there. Just in case you weren't sure, just in case you were someone who's going, what could he possibly have done? I mean, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Pretty gross shit from Crowder. No, let's. I got a bunch of clips to play here. Let's do this. It's all part of the same story, but it's this will be the final story, I think, of the day. This is all right. Let's do this. All right, we're going to my hometown now. Born, raised, Queens, New York, baby. But sometimes Queens, New York, puts me in a bad light. Doesn't exactly show the good sides of New York. Take, for example, the fact that it's where Donald Trump was born and lived as a child. Queens, New York. But most recently, anti-vaxxers have descended upon the Queen Center Mall in order to basically cause havoc for America's suburban bar and grill chain restaurants. First, they hit up the Cheesecake Factory. The next day, they hit up Applebee's. 6 people arrested the first night at the Cheesecake Factory. 4 people arrested the second night at Applebee's. What is this all about? A group of anti-vaxxers go into a restaurant. Don't even wait online to be seated. Just go in, sit down wherever they want to sit, which obviously is not what you do at these restaurants. Refuse to show their vaccine passports because they don't got them. You refuse to show vaccine ID, vaccine cards, because they don't got them. They're unvaccinated, which is against the New York mandate that requires people who eat at an indoor restaurant in New York City to show these forms of identification that prove they are vaccinated. And they disrupt the workday for what is essentially minimum wage working class people. Kitchen staff, busboys, servers, bar staff. And for what? For what? To grab internet content. But there are some clips I want to show you that really get to the bottom of what's going on here in terms of what these people want. Because they really do think, or at least they want to portray, that they are some discriminated class. Which is not true, obviously. But what they say while doing this stuff is quite revealing sometimes. I've grabbed a few clips from their Instagram lives from this week. Again, they hit up Cheesecake Factory night 1, Applebee's night 2. And let's just play some of these clips. And you could hear what the most pressing problems are in America for anti-vaxxers. I should note that more than half the people I believe who are arrested aren't even from Queens. They're from a few were from Long Island and upstate and the Bronx. There are a few people from Queens too, though. But what is this is what you do at your spare time? You take your kids to this too? That's another major factor here. These kids must have been 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Taking your kids to this shit? But let's listen in here. This is truly some incredible stuff.
Even before the mandate.
So this is at the Cheesecake Factory. Police have already been called to the Cheesecake Factory at Queen Center Mall by the staff who, from what I understand, these anti-vaxxers just walked in, sat down, refused to show any vaccination proof, refused to leave, literally cut people who are waiting to be seated too, which, I mean, that alone would probably get you kicked out regardless of anything. So right then and there, they're running afoul. But let's continue.
That's not true. We're getting off topic. Yeah. So that's not true. We're here to just tell you, we're not doing anything right now. We're telling you guys, the manager has now asked you to leave, right? So now, that's why we have to speak to someone in charge, because you guys can go talk amongst yourselves. They're asking you to leave. And if you guys...
They actually said they weren't going to serve. They haven't access to the manager's
that's right. They're going to really try in these clips to really parse words and pretend they're not being told what they're really being told. And they manufacture some crazy rights that they have, they think they have, but they really don't. Like, for example, if employees of a store, restaurant, place of business tell you to leave, guess what? You're trespassing if you don't leave. That is just fact. That's law. They don't think so, though. And you'll hear them fight that basic fact.
If you guys refuse to leave, we're going to give you every opportunity to leave, but if you eventually refuse to leave when we tell you to leave, we will be arresting you for criminal trespass.
It's not criminal trespass. We're here to access the business during normal business hours. We are invitees of a public accommodating business. We are not committing a crime. We are here to eat. We're here to access the business. That cannot be criminal trespass. I'm telling you,
I got bad news for you MAGA people. This might be your first rodeo with the NYPD or any police or law enforcement, but guess what? They could pretty much arrest you for anything. That's one of the things leftists, you guys love the police. Blue Lives Matter, right? But one of the major criticisms is like, they could arrest you for literally anything and take you in, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can fight it later. Maybe if it is a false arrest, you won't get punished. You still got to go through the system. Maybe you could sue and make some money out of it, some damages. But that's another long process. But police can really fuck with you. They could do whatever the hell they want. In this case, actually, that wouldn't be a false arrest. That'd be a pretty legit arrest. If you're refusing to leave property, when employees who work at that private business tell you to leave, that is actually called trespassing, and you can actually legitimately get arrested. But to your idea that like they can't do that, they can do whatever the fuck they want to you in that moment, quite frankly, sadly, unfortunately. But that's maybe not sadly or unfortunately to you guys when people who you don't agree with are the ones being arrested for no reason.
I'll let you know, because if you falsely arrest any of us, you will be held liable.
Sir, I'm just telling you.
Don't say sir. Listen to what I'm telling you.
We're not asking you to leave.
I'm listening. I'm trying to get you to understand what I'm trying to tell you.
I have not told you to leave, right? We have not told you to leave.
Right, but
I'm telling
we cannot be arrested for trespassing. We are not trespassing.
If we tell you to leave and you refuse to leave, I'm telling you that we're going to start arresting people for criminal trespass.
But it's not trespassing. It will be a false arrest.
No. When you say that,
one person.
I love it would be a false arrest. Well, even if it was, which it wouldn't be, but even if it was, you're acting like that would matter. That would matter. And I want to point out how unbelievably patient this cop is being with these guys. I don't think I've ever seen them be so patient with a Black Lives Matter protest, Occupy Wall Street back in the day. I've never seen them be have any sort of patience with a left-wing protest like I'm seeing here. Like, good that they should be. This is the proper way that a community servant should act, honestly, when someone is breaking the law. Do everything in their power to defuse the situation and de-escalate. This is what this is what I assume police should be doing. If this was, if this is what they're supposedly paid to do, right? Even though it doesn't usually work out this way, but here they are doing this with these anti-vaxxers.
One person, you guys, you over here told us you were representing us right now. I'm talking to them for now. So please, that's all we have to tell you. You guys decide what you want to do. All right.
But you are aware of what criminal trespassing actually is, and we are not criminally trespassing.
For criminal trespass if you
we're here during normal business hours to
leave.
access the business and the services.
Okay, that's
you
it.
cannot be trespassing.
I'm done explaining it.
Okay, good. So
don't leave. When we ask you, we have not asked you to leave. The manager has asked you to leave.
But also, you are law enforcement. The law dictates we have the right to be here. You're not policy enforcement.
So you're supposed to leave.
You're going to enforce their policy over the law?
Yeah.
Will you enforce their policy over the law?
You guys have a choice to make.
These guys, these anti-vaxxers really have a really bizarre interpretation of the laws. Really bizarre interpretation. Let's give this example here because they seem to be very confused. If a black person was to walk into a restaurant and grab a bunch of plates and smash them on the floor, a restaurant could tell them to leave because they are doing things that the restaurant does not appreciate. That would be completely legal. If a black man was to walk into a restaurant and ask to be served and not disrupt anything, not just act and go by the policies that any other patron is obeying, and the restaurant was to come to them and say, we don't want you here because you are black, or they insinuate that they will not serve them because they are black, then that would be illegal. then that would be illegal. Because guess what? Race, along with religion, sexual orientation, various other different protected classes, that would be, if you would belong to those, that would mean a private business even would be prohibited from not serving you or not providing you business based on you being those things. That would be prohibited. Guess what? Being unvaccinated is not one of those protected things. So literally, there is a mandate in this state where these restaurants are forced to abide by the rules, to check to make sure that if you are going to sit down inside the restaurant, you must be vaccinated. If you do not obey that rule, then the restaurant may refuse service. In the same way they could refuse service if you bring in an animal that isn't a service dog or a service animal. The same way they could refuse service if you walk in without a t-shirt or without shoes on, which you can see on the front of many establishments. I mean, these not wearing a shirt is not a protected class. Let's continue here.
So please,
well, you do too.
Doing, okay?
You swore oath to
you guys figure out what you're gonna do.
So
okay?
you're law enforcement, not policy enforcement. You have to enforce the law, not the policy.
Okay, all right. No. Listen, now we're okay. So next up, police start making arrests at the Cheesecake Factory. See, they're just sitting there in seats where they weren't seated.
They'll be good, man.
They're being arrested now. 6 people were arrested.
Because I'm gonna go down, so it doesn't matter. Go ahead. I'm in America. I got several. Itself all over again.
That's right.
You're comfortable with it. Time to stand up.
Segregation by medical status. We must all stand up.
Segregation.
Let them go!
This is about 30 people, I should say, part of this protest. 6 of whom were arrested.
All right, guys, so quick update because everybody's asking.
All right, they went ahead. This guy basically updates and says they moved the protest from Queens Center Mall at the Cheesecake Factory to the police precinct where they were holding those 6 individuals. That was on a Tuesday night, I believe. Here's a funny clip of them bringing these guys to the police cars from the Cheesecake Factory where they start shouting some really ridiculous things.
You know what you're doing is not right, Paul. The Nazis didn't get away with it either, right?
Hey, listen, God is going to do his job, bro.
No, we're going to sue every last one of these motherfuckers.
God is going to do his
Those lawsuits will lose.
job, bro. Trust me. What is it arrested for?
Red. We'll see you at the precinct. But you change your mind, or did something happen?
No, I stood.
You stood. Okay, he stood, ladies and gentlemen. This is a fucking hero.
He's a hero.
Yo, Steph, you see me, right? You see me, Steph. Hey, why did you back the
Do you know why he's being arrested? Do you know why? Do you know why he's being arrested? Because we're forcing the blind mandate.
Let's move on to the next clip. What was this? Oh, this is a funny one. This is one of the protesters at the precinct.
We don't want that hot sandwich. We want the Fruit Loops. Flood Cheesecake Factory with reservations. Right now, you don't even have, when you take reservations, you don't even have to put down a credit card, okay? A way to get involved in the movement, make reservations tomorrow for Cheesecake Factory, okay? And
flood the Cheesecake Factories with reservations, folks. That's how we get back at the evil corporations. Then there was the Applebee's one.
Oh my God, the zip ties.
the zip ties.
That is fun. It's fun stuff.
Police came to the Applebee's the next night.
This is what we're doing. We
held another protest.
We want to get a child a glass of water.
At Queen Center Mall.
This is like really like a mandate. We're literally following the mandate too. We're enforcing a mandate that's not a law, but we're following the mandate itself.
I don't know what he's talking about.
You're enforcing something that isn't law, and we're following it. Still, like we're still following it, but you're arresting us for following something. It's not even a law, but we're still following it.
I lost friends for supporting.
You know, it's on the website. The exemptions, Mr. Legal.
Did you hear that person in the background? I lost friends for supporting you guys. People were calling you pigs. These are people using the fact that they were all lives matter, blue lives matter people during the BLM protests of 2020. They're basically holding that over the police, like, you guys should be on our side because we defended you. It's truly the thought process these guys go through is unbelievable.
Over here who couldn't, you know, maybe now's a good time to ask the question. If I could pull it up on the NYC website about the exemptions to the public accommodating spaces. I could pull it up for you if you don't already know what it says. If we want to talk about law enforcement, then I would go into the ADA and HIPAA. Legal.
HIPAA has nothing to do with this.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you.
We got more than one per person, I think. Young man needs a glass of water in there. They're hungry, you know. His mother promised him dessert tonight. His mother promised him dessert.
His mother promised him dessert. I think there's just one more clip. Let me see this.
For this like live DNA, like aborted fetal tissue crap that they're injecting in all of
right,
us.
and then they start spreading misinformation about the mRNA vaccines. They have nothing to do with fetal tissue. And then the last clip here. Police are taking out the people from Applebee's.
Pirates! Fascists! We were supporting you!
Right.
We do not support the NYPD anymore!
We do not support the NYPD anymore. This is who these guys are. Privileged people who are doing all this in the name of their right to get people sick during a pandemic. All right, folks, because they want to go to the Applebee's or the Cheesecake Factory. Their right to have a sizzling apple pie or a cheesecake. All right, folks, I'm exhausted, honestly. So I'm going to call it a night right now. Happy holidays. You'll be seeing me before. Next week, obviously, there's a show. And I will see you all next time on Doomed. Today on... Whoops.